work. Call me, Matt Buff, at 321-765-7710 and mention this ad to get your first month free. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we will make your website awesome again. We will make your social media work again. And yes, we will make your online marketing great again. Visit jjcmarketingsolutions.com or call 321-765-7710 today.
In a time when all seemed lost, a voice rose from the wilderness, a voice rooted in our unique form of government, a confident voice filled with hope and inspiration that grows louder and louder while articulating the truth for all to hear. It is the voice to be reckoned with. It is the American Adversaries Radio Show, featuring your host, political scholar and philosopher Christopher Hart, co-host South African American patriot Aubrey Kahn, News Talk divas Kathy Santamasino and Patricia Summerlin, and more. Now, sit back and enjoy the American Adversaries.
We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be just. Don't pick our destiny, because you don't know us, you don't belong. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. No way.
No way. That's what Donald Trump said. He said, this thing is over. It's done. Well, we're just starting out, ladies and gentlemen, on our Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour. That's right, folks. We are here. We are live. We are the American Adversaries, coming to you from the Relax and Comfort Studios, where, yes, indeed, even after the deluge, we are high and dry. Coming to you from on FM 105.5 and AM 660, The Answer. And tonight, of course, every Sunday night, also on our sister station, 1520 WBZW. No Rays today. The Rays, coincidentally enough, were rained out in Baltimore. And part of this whole system, I think, going up and down the coast there, delivered a bunch of rain in Kentucky yesterday. We'll talk about the goings-on to Louisville. And we got a big show lined up for you. We got the queen of our Facebook page going to be back with us tonight, Kathy Santomasino. And our California gorgeous lady of wrestling is going to be back with us tonight, fresh off the Cauliflower Alley Club convention in Las Vegas, which you, too, can attend next year. And the year after that, and the year after that, if you are a member of the Cauliflower Alley Club, which is so easy to do, just go to caulifloweralleyclub.org and sign up. But about our show tonight, as I said, we are here. We are live in the studio now. We have the firm foundation of the American Adversaries, one Aubrey Kahn. Good evening. Yeah, there he is. And also with us, Nostradamus.
It's scary in here, Chris. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I'm having flashbacks to our first shows, because I used to sit right across from Jeff and screen the phone calls.
Yeah.
And that whole area has tarps around it. It's like backstage at a rock concert. Wow. Lou's been putting stuff up all afternoon, man.
Yeah. Without Lou, this station couldn't be running. He is the man of the hour. I am the philosopher, political mad scientist, Christopher Hart. Jeff Sinis is on the bridge. Lair Adams will be joining us as well. And you were going to say something. I can see it on your face. I can see your finger twitching.
Wipe that off your face, Aubrey. Just get it out. Get it out.
Get it out.
Get it out.
I was going to say, how many jobs has Joe Biden ever had in his lifetime?
I think I know the answer. 5. Go ahead.
All right, 5.
Go ahead. Name them.
You
Actually, 6.
6. Oh, okay.
Politician.
Okay.
Politician.
All right.
Politician.
Yep.
Politician.
Okay.
VP. Massage therapist.
Okay. 6
Do those
jobs.
jive with the
good.
ones that you had in mind?
Yeah, the first 4 at least.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we are here live. Jeff Sinis is on the bridge, and the number is the same as it was the day we started, Nostradamus. That is 407-774-8255.
You're from New York. It's 47774 talk.
There you go. That's right. All right. We got, we're going to talk about some foreign policy things tonight, and also a little bit more about, of course, domestic policy. And we got some odd stories. Kathy does. and a whole lot more. So please stick around for all of that tonight. And did either of you guys catch the Kentucky Derby yesterday?
No.
I heard it was bizarre.
He was too fast for me.
He was. You couldn't keep up with him. It was. I thought it was a good race. I watched it, and you could definitely see there was some bumping going on. But usually in a horse, especially when you have 18 horses in the field, you can't expect there not to be a little bumping and grinding going on in there, as they used to call it in NASCAR.
Yeah, there's so many horses they had to put up more than one gate. You put up the first 14 in one gate, and you put the extras in a second gate.
Yeah, what's this bump and grind stuff you're talking about?
Well, as they were coming around the bend, down the stretch they come. As they came around that last corner there, the lead horse, what was his name? Maximum Exposure or something like that?
Maximum Security.
Security. There you go. Maximum Security. The jockey kind of swung a little wide there, it appeared, and it bunched up the horses a little bit. Evidently, somebody complained. They reviewed the tapes and reversed I can't say reversed the decision, just disqualified the first horse. Not entirely. They placed him 17th.
Oh, well.
Sure. Yeah. Well, why did somebody else come in behind him? I mean, and Larry Adams has entered the studio with us today. Yeah, there he is. All right, you're going to just go pull up a chair right here, Larry. We got that microphone there already hooked up for you. And
it was a struggle to get here.
Yeah.
Especially at Maitland.
There you go. The track yesterday was nasty, soggy.
You had to be a mutter to win,
and it was from the same system that came across the country. Believe it or not, this was the tail end of a little cold front again. And thank you, John Casey. The horses, as I said, you could see that it was just a muddy mess as the hooves were flying, the mud was flying, and the guys, if you weren't in front, you were getting a mud bath, right? And the one horse led pretty much the whole way. It was clearly the fastest horse, but because of the bumping and grinding going on there was a challenge. And the second place horse, which was a 65 to 1 odds, the second highest odds ever in the race. First time the first place horse has ever been disqualified.
Ever. In 120 something years?
125 or 140, something like that. And as I said, the second place horse was an extreme long shot, and a bunch of money was lost. Not a lot of money was gained because not a lot of people bet on that horse, but nonetheless, the people who did cleaned up. For a $2 bet, you won $120 something back. Not too shabby. And but it is nonetheless controversial. The president has chimed in on it today. Thought it was a beautiful race given the conditions, and attributed the reversal to political correctness.
Yeah. But they were all males. They're all stallions in the race because the mares raced the day before.
Right.
Or the race before, one of the two.
Now, what's a gelding? A gelding is a
sports model.
I see. Okay. Because there was at least one of them.
He's missing a few things.
But he's still good enough to run.
He had a weight advantage.
Let's just say if that horse had won the race, there wouldn't have been any stud fees in the future. All right.
Yeah.
But the question is, should they have changed the ruling or not? The president's point is, look, the track was a mess, and you're expecting a clean race when there's mud flying and horses slipping and sliding and slogging around.
Wait, wasn't he talking about the 2016 presidential race?
Is that a horse race?
He could have been.
Mud getting slung around?
Yeah, of course. I guess nothing's going to be done about it. Of course, well, the owner of the horse that, what was it again, Maximum Security, could, I guess, pursue a legal challenge. As you said, this has never happened in Derby history before to the first place horse. It's happened to other horses that weren't in first place that had bumped or blocked or something like that. But as I said, it was just a messy race, and you could see all the horses were all over the place, kind of, and they all are anyway. But even on a muddy track, it's even more so. And you could see bumping going on.
And just like in any sporting event, the rules of the judges are final.
Yeah. But I must say that the bumping that I saw didn't involve the lead horse. It involved other horses to the side and behind it.
But you see, horse racing is now like politics.
How's that?
There's always mudslinging.
Well, certainly the controversy will go on, and the chances of a triple crown probably are not going to be there. It'd be
We
interesting
need to have
see.
Miller do a 2-year investigation into it.
Right. If the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes allow this horse and same jockey in their races.
Why not?
Well,
He made a mistake. Why not?
yeah, well, or if that owner would even want to enter it. So it'll be something that'll be interesting to watch, a little sporting controversy going on there. And then there's the sporting controversy going on in Los Angeles, where Magic Johnson has had to walk away from the team because of the LeBron meltdown out there and them not going to the play. They only won 2 more games this year with LeBron James than they won last year without LeBron James. And the fans in LA are not too satisfied with that.
No patience.
No, indeed not. Indeed not. All right. Meanwhile, Mike Pompeo was making the rounds this morning on all of the Sunday morning talk shows. Foreign policy things, as always, with every president, perplex and complicate one's lives. And several things have come up. I guess the most pressing thing is what's going on in Venezuela down there. Mike Pompeo insisted this morning that it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when Guaido takes over and the henchman leaves. So, but as he said, you're never successful until you are. So until then, it is really kind of a wait and see thing. This was one of the topics of the now infamous phone call between President Trump and Vladimir Putin, which they made on Friday with one another. And
Are they colluding again?
Indeed.
Oh, we need another investigation.
Oh,
Well, Chris, what do you think, excuse me, Obama would have done if he were in office right now, since he's been so buddy-buddy with Cuba? What would we know it would have been let's do a wait and see.
I'm pretty sure that's
Let's
exactly.
just do a wait and see.
Yeah,
And I don't think he would have just done a wait and see. He would have telegraphed to the world that
Mhm.
it's not our job to get involved.
Mhm.
We're going to wait and see. Rather than
And
Trump,
any
who
red
hasn't said-
lines I established
He'll walk away
can be
from.
crossed.
Might even be worse than that. It might even be that he would help prop up that regime down there, just like he helped prop up the Iranians with those hundreds of billions of dollars and the nuclear deal.
And how did that work for the Libyans?
Yeah, exactly. And how does that work for the Middle East now?
He's never met a socialist or communist government he didn't like,
And
right?
indeed. So
Because Gaddafi was swinging more across to democracy, and so he had to be dealt with.
I would think that the Obama administration would be offering up gads of aid in form of medicine, food, oil to an oil-rich nation, the things that they need to survive down there, as I said, to sort of help prop them up, all in the name of humanity.
Compassion.
Exactly. Compassion, humanity. And as we've noted on the show last week, Venezuelans put themselves in this mess by giving up their guns over the last
2012.
over the last few actually it goes back a little bit further than that, but over since who was it, Chavez, who took over first, and then Maduro, they really clamped down on the weapons, and they sold it to the public as, this was the right thing to do, this is the safe thing to do, you don't need these, and all that stuff.
That's what all dictatorships and communists do.
Pretty much. And that's what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, because that way they can control the populace.
Right. The problem here is that there are so many, it has to be done voluntarily, like they try to do it everywhere. And
It's always voluntary at the point of a gun.
yeah, but it's a
Yes,
situation. Go
It
ahead.
starts voluntarily, Chris.
Right.
And that's when it starts edging over into, okay, now for your own good and for the good of the community, we're coming.
Right. All right. So we're going to take a break and come back and pick this up here with the phone call and Venezuela and Russia and China and all this other stuff. North Korea, don't forget that. You are listening to the American Adversaries on our Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour, coming right back. And don't forget, you still have time to celebrate at Tijuana Flats all over town, but in particular in Avalon Park, the 2 in Oviedo and the one in Winter Springs, where Rick Brown is putting on one heck of a celebration, even right now tonight. We'll be right back.
Some of the time you do
Don't miss Dennis Prager live Monday, May 6th at the Holy Land Experience. Get your tickets now at theanswerorlando.com.
Come join our own Rick Brown and his wife Brenda Thursday, May 16, and celebrate the 15th anniversary of their Tijuana Flats Tex-Mex restaurant located in beautiful Winter Springs, Florida, in the Winter Springs Town Center at 160 Tuscaloosa Road. The celebration lasts all day with great deals, including the famous Throwback Thursday special of a Tijuana-sized burrito, chips, and a drink for only $5.99. They'll be happy with our prices from open to close, and the incomparable Ennis Pruitt, one of Central Florida's finest guitarists, will perform on the patio from 7 to 10 p.m. So join the fun Thursday, May 16th. Happy 15th anniversary.
Hey, Central Florida, Dave Ramsey here. When you need advice on your taxes and want to work with someone who has the heart of a teacher, you need to see Larry Herring, CPA. He's one of our tax-endorsed local providers, and he's ready to talk with you about all your income tax needs. Larry Herring will help you manage your taxes just like any other expense. Take it from me, Larry is your guy. 407-647-7777 or at herringcpa.com.
Rusev Udria, Rusev Machka.
Yes, reports from the White House press corps are that as Donald Trump had Vladimir Putin on speakerphone, he was marching duck style. What do you call it? Goose step style.
Goose stepping, yeah.
Goose step around around the Oval Office as Vladimir was issuing his orders to Donald.
They have this on video?
Yeah.
Yes, mein Führer.
I'd love to see that.
Their reports aren't very far from that, right? Oh, he's talked on the phone with Vladimir Putin for an hour.
Well, you know what that means.
Yeah, that what?
It means whatever you think it means.
That's just it. They want to you get your creative juices flowing there.
We need an unredacted transcript of that telephone conversation.
Right. And you got this guy Swalwell who's running for president. By the way, did you see where de Blasio is going to throw his hat into the ring?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
That would be 22?
22 or 23.
And they were complaining and mocking the Republicans for having that many
before
running for the president.
It wasn't that many.
And now
it wasn't 22.
And it was like 14.
And at least 15 of these people are old white men.
That's right. or aging, very close to being old, but you're absolutely right.
Why are you looking at me?
It's such a choice, huh? And then you got the women demanding that the men get out simply because they are men. Okay, well, that's a good enough reason, I guess. Anyway, the president, according to White House officials, spoke with Vladimir Putin an hour. According to press reports, the Russians said it was 90 minutes. I can just see Putin now. They have the hour phone call. He says, okay, now go out there and tell some Western reporter we were on the phone 90 minutes just to screw with their stupid heads, right? Because they know what kind of paranoid fools these useful idiots are for him. It's so easy for him to manipulate them.
We were just talking about our grandchildren. That's all we were doing.
Yeah.
I went out to the tarmac to make the call.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the president and the White House said, of course, they talked a little about Venezuela. The president would like Vladimir Putin to get out of the way in Venezuela. Pretty good thing to be talking about. They also talked a little bit about North Korea. And they didn't talk much, evidently, about the Mueller report, much to the dismay and disgust of the liberal media.
Oh, so the media were in the room during the conversation?
No. They were there. The president was asked, and other White House officials have revealed the subject matter, not the details of the conversation. The president said that Putin said in regards to the Mueller, and the president was referring to the idea of a witch hunt, of going after him for collusion and stuff.
Sure.
And he said that Putin said of that it was funny, and the president said he said it with a smile on his face. Now, they were talking on a telephone, so
well, you can hear if he's
but the president obviously was doing a little tweaking of his own of the media, knowing this would set them into a frenzy. That he said with a smile on his face that this was odd. This was interesting because it started out as a mountain and turned into a mouse. And I think he was trying to say mountain turned into
Molehill.
Right. In other words, started out big, turned into nothing at the end. And of course, the media didn't like that at all. And
They're going to report that he lied.
And hence the as I said, and I'm of course
We need another investigation.
Right.
Aubrey.
Exactly.
Bulls aren't mice.
Yes,
Come on.
Yes. The president is obviously doing Vladimir Putin's bidding here. Now, the administration makes no bones about it. The president makes no bones about it. He would like to have better relationships with Russia. Some of it depends on Russia, but some of it depends on us. And he is taking a new approach to all of these people, the Russians, the Iranians, the North Koreans, the Venezuelans.
Yep. It's the old TV show thing. Let's make a deal.
Right. But I will caution, and I'm sure he has people around him telling this. I'm sure he knows this. And that is, just because he takes a new approach doesn't mean that new approach is going to have any better results than the same old approach did.
But if you know what you're doing isn't working, you keep doing it. That's the definition of insanity.
Or
Or you
government.
can change it up.
Right.
Or government.
Right. Now, the president is, once again, as I said, he's trying to improve relations. He's trying to coax these folks. He's not trying to coerce them. He's of the mind, I think, that he can convince them of a better way and begin the process of putting that in motion. And that's very difficult. Just look how difficult it is to get things done here, right? And now you're talking about dealing with foreign governments and with foreign governments that have converging and diverging interests with our own. And it's very, very tricky affair. I mean, foreign policy has stumped all presidents at one point or another. And I'm not saying this president is stumped. I'm just simply saying this is it's more difficult foreign policy wise to get anything done than it is even domestically.
But I think he's had more success foreign policy wide than he has locally.
We need to wait and see, I think, on that.
I'd say tangible, feelable success is much more domestic because of the tax cut, the regulation cut.
The economy, you can see the numbers.
Right.
But he set the groundwork for a lot of progress in international relations with dozens of countries.
Indeed, he has. And he has begun the process of rebuilding our military, and that will be the ultimate game changer should push come to shove. And by the way, just the other day, he canceled the decommissioning of the, I think it was the USS Harry Truman.
Turned it into a reconditioning.
Right. And the Harry Truman is it's a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, so it's one of the more modern ones. It's just not the most modern of them. And it is, however, nuclear-powered, got, the catapults of the old style. They're not the new electromagnetic ones, but nonetheless, they get the job done and has done that for decades. And can continue to sail, and they'll re-equip it with more modern defensive capabilities and upgrade, I'm sure, its nuclear plant, that sort of thing. Maybe even upgrade the catapults, and it's going to be a good fighting ship well into the future.
What they were going to do was make it a cash for clunkers and make it a big, huge piece of metal.
Scrap.
And commission an entirely new ship.
Indeed.
Saving billions.
Indeed. And they'll continue to build out new ships as well. So the point being that the president is in, if people expect, miracles in the foreign policy area, well, maybe they'll happen, but you're going to have to be patient because once again, you're dealing with both converging and diverging currents with every nation you deal with.
And it takes time, Chris. You can't expect, an initial result. You have to kind of sit back and wait and see how things are going. Did it work?
And you can't turn an ocean liner quickly. Turning two ocean liners takes even more time.
Like the old phrase, good idea, didn't work.
Right. Now, the situation, take, for instance, the situation in Venezuela. It is complicated by the fact that the populace is unarmed. They are totally incapable of doing anything to seriously help themselves. So it's all come down to what is the army going to do? Well, as long as Maduro can pay and support his army, they're going to stick with him. And I guarantee you his loyal commanders are making it quite clear to their command that anybody that has any thoughts of bucking is going to find themselves in front of a firing squad. They don't mess around. They're not going to say, oh, we're going to deport you to Mexico or something like that. They're going to put you in front of a wall and kill you and make an example out of you to make sure nobody else does it. And as I said, when there's no other arms to be had, now you're talking about a long process of smuggling weapons in there to give to the rebels who would fight against Maduro, or having an outside force go in there and do it for them. Otherwise, you have to beg and cajole Maduro to leave. Here we are. And it's all because that population gave up their weapons, their ability to have any real say in this. And so now they are stuck with throwing rocks and throwing their bodies in front of armored vehicles. That's not going to get you much in the way of positive results.
Well, Chris, they also accepted socialism.
Yeah,
as opposed to a wonderful system that they had. Almost everybody was happy. It was doing well, thriving.
Right.
And they screwed it all up.
Right. And see, this is one of the lies that is guised as a promise of socialism. And that is that it goes back to Marx and his view of human nature. Marx's view of human nature is diametrically opposed to our founding fathers' view of human nature. Our founding fathers' view of human nature is basically we're a bunch of sinners, okay? And that's the way we were born. That's the way we're always going to be. And nothing can change human nature. So they devised a form of government that accommodates it, the adversarial form of government, because human nature is primarily that we all have a lot of different opinions from one another, which leads to arguing and fights and even wars.
I like the take that Dennis Prager has on this, where he says when young millennials think that the world is basically good and people are basically good people, he says that's because most people who grow up in America see basically good people. There's more of them here in our nation than there are anywhere else in the world.
And this goes to our conversation last week. Was it last week with Alyssa?
Yeah.
Algren. And when I brought up,
I was just going to bring that up. I heard that. It was a great interview.
Yeah. And we were talking about that. But we're going to have to take a break and pick this up on the other side. And I'll talk about the Marxist view of human nature. And Nostradamus just kind of gave you a little flavor of it right there. But we'll give you more of the recipe for Marxism, communism, socialism, the whole 9 isms, or all those isms. Anyway, we'll be right back with more of the American Adversaries on our Sunday evening Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour. And don't forget, Cinco de Mayo still going on at Tijuana Flats.
With SRN News, I'm Gordon Griffin. President Trump tweeted Sunday that tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese imports will jump from 10% to 25% this week, giving Chinese negotiators a fresh deadline and added pressure as talks between the two countries resume this week. Mr. Trump has threatened to increase those tariffs before, but has pushed back plans to raise them twice. In his tweets Sunday, the president said that the tariff increase will happen Friday. Chinese officials are expected to come to Washington for trade talks on Wednesday. And the president says special counsel Robert Mueller shouldn't testify before Congress. The president's moving away from his previous declaration that he would leave that decision to his attorney general. And the Wall Street Journal reports that Facebook plans a cryptocurrency-based payment system that it could launch for billions of users worldwide. This is SRN News.
If you've ever had a good massage, you know how it can relieve your stress, aches, and pains. You also know it can be expensive and take time out of your day. But it doesn't have to. At Relax and Comfort, you can get your own programmable massage chair for less than a cup of coffee per day. Quiet your body, clear your mind, and loosen your muscles in the comfort of your own home with the Brio massage chair from Relax and Comfort. The Brio is state-of-the-art, complete with foot rollers, back heat, zero gravity, and you can customize your massage or choose from 10 popular options. And while supplies last, you can save hundreds on selected models during the semi-annual floor model clearance sale. Remember to ask about no interest finance options and mention the promo code American Adversaries to get 50% off Maloof bamboo bed linens or essential oil sleep pillows all month. Relax and Comfort is family owned and operated and has locations in Winter Park, Windermere, Sanford, and the Villages. Visit relaxandcomfort.com or call 321-329-3118. Your true wealth is your health. Get your massage chair today. Relaxandcomfort.com, 321-329-3118. Folks, I'm so proud of our sponsors here on the American Adversaries, like Jerry and Janice Shepard of Jerry's Mercedes-Benz. They and businesses like theirs are truly the backbone of America. They're family-owned and operated, dedicated to quality and professionalism, and committed to courteous and honest service. If you own a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, you need to know Jerry and Jana and their team of professionals because they will give you the best care and service for your vehicle at the best price. They truly are the dealership alternative. Call 407-366-6499 or go to jerrysnb.com. That's 407-366-6499, jerrysnb.com. Are you the kind of person who likes to do things for yourself? You enjoy the challenge and satisfaction of a job well done? Then you need to hook up with Detail Garage Orlando. Because at Detail Garage Orlando, you'll find all the products you'll need to make your car, truck, boat, or RV look and smell the best it possibly can. At Detail Garage Orlando, you can also learn the trade secrets that will make your efforts more efficient, effective, and enjoyable. To learn more and sign up for classes, go to detailgarageorlando.com or call 407-896-6366. Sign up today at detailgarageorlando.com.
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
Hey, this is the AWA's illustrious Johnny Stewart. You know, when I'm driving around Orlando in my new Porsche, I listen to WORL. It's the answer. FM 105.5, AM 660. Christopher Hart, the American Adversary Show. You know, it's like political professional wrestling. And if you people in Orlando don't listen to it, I'm going to take the silver spoon out of my mouth and I'm going to bash you over the head.
Don't want that to happen. By the way, silver spoon won't get you a successful coup either. By the way, the administration, Mike Pompeo, this morning was saying what was happening in Venezuela was not a coup because Guaido is the proper leader. And so the coup is sort of already in place, I guess you might say. That Maduro is the illegal leader. He's
overstaying his welcome.
Exactly, right. All right, I guess you can just say it's depending on how you look at it, half full or half empty, right?
He's ignoring his nation's laws.
What were the alleged results of the election?
Well, with the presidential election, Maduro won.
Okay.
When it came to the assembly election, Guaido won, and the results of the presidential election were called into question. And so the assembly declared Guaido the winner.
And that's
because he was the leader of the assembly.
And that's the law of Venezuela.
Yeah, well, I guess that's part of what they're arguing about down there. Maduro is saying, like heck it is. But he's saying basically I'm the law, or at least I'm the one abiding by the law. But here's the problem. Once again, when you get a socialist government in there, they change the laws to accommodate what they're trying to do. And to get back to Marx, what Marx said about human nature it is pliable. That is that there is no real such thing as human nature, that human beings are a product of their nurturing. Okay, it's back to the old nature versus nurture argument. Yeah. Are you guys familiar with that?
Yeah.
In other words, are you born with talent or do you develop them? Nature versus nurture. He's more on the nurture side. Our founders were much more on the nature side. Okay. In other words, in the sense that we all have the basic good and evil, love and hate, all of those basic emotions are in us, and you can't rid yourself of them. And by the way, this goes back to the Greek philosophers, because the Greek philosophers saw nature, many of them, as I'll simplify it and say a conflict of opposites. In other words, you could not have hot without cold. And yet hot and cold are constantly trying to defeat one another in a way, right? You cannot have good without evil. You cannot have love without hate. You see what I'm trying to say? And so this would be, you just can't get away from having these things in us, whether we like it or not. Marx would say, but under the right conditions, you would do the right thing.
Under utopian conditions.
Correct.
Well,
which only can be brought about by socialism and then communism.
See, therein is my question to you, Chris, on this one, because we've talked about Marxism before. Did he ever have an incident or a situation where he could point to and say, see how this works? Or was it all just speculation, everything he said?
It was primarily speculation. Because no, he could not really point to anything like that.
Or a society on Earth that he had studied that says, hey, this is the way to go, or whatever.
I think he would go all the way back to the cave dwellers and say the cave dwellers, that was a communist society. Okay, because they had to work together to survive, to come up with food, to fight off animals or whatever it happened to be. But it was also anarchy. Well, he would call it more like self-rule. You didn't need a government. And then
anarchy.
And then when you started having things, then you started having problems with people wanting other people's things and things like this. See, Marx does not have, and we've talked about this on the show a long time ago, Marx does not have a linear view of history. We have a linear view of history, okay? It goes straight in a straight line, more or less. All right. His view of history was a Hegelian, or however you want to pronounce Hegel's name. He was a German philosopher that said, no, history acts more like a spiral. Okay. Like if you will, a shell. Okay.
It repeats itself.
It repeats itself, but it gets bigger each time it comes around.
Kind of like a nautilus.
Exactly. And so what Marx said was, when communist comes around again, and it will, that it will be much bigger, much more complex, and it will accommodate everybody. And here is the lie that it sells, and that is that Marx would say, for instance, and the Soviet Union tried this, and this was the idea, believe it or not, behind the, shall I say, the rationalization behind the Gulag. All right? And that is, if you are a criminal, it is because you're in with the wrong crowd and you're in the wrong situation. So the way to...
You didn't get the right nurturing.
Well, basically, yes. So the way to get you to not be a criminal is to give you the right nurturing. Now, in our way of doing it, we put you in a prison to give you the nurturing there. And that's, at the end of the day, what they did mostly. But the gulags were camps that originally were there to get your mind right. That's the whole...
Correction facilities.
That's the idea of a gulag. That's what it means. And by the way, they had them in Vietnam, they had them in Cambodia, and they work quite well, by the way, because you're there under different circumstances, and basically you're brainwashed or you're miserable. And you don't get out until you take the brainwashing, you see? And what Marx would say is, you need to do that under socialism in order to get you to communism. But once you're in a communist society, everything will be equal. Nobody will be wanting anything. As he said it, you'll work in the morning, you'll go fishing in the afternoon. In other words, you'll have a lot of idle time on your hands. And somehow he thinks that is going to lead to an idyllic society where people don't fight, they don't steal from one another, they don't have, shall we say, sexual dalliances that can lead to jealousy.
Because we all want to go fish.
Well, yeah.
But, he was right in one aspect.
How's that?
Wherever there's communism, the general populace has lots of time on their hands because they have no jobs, they have no food, they have no transport,
and
they have nothing.
And they're alcoholics and depressed.
Well, see, once again, you don't get it. According to Marx, You're right. You won't have to work much.
You don't, because there's no work.
No, because you'll have he didn't envision robots, but he would say the industrial boom that will be brought about by capitalism will lay the technological groundwork so that human beings won't have to work.
Well,
And somehow that is going to make it so people are going to get along with one another. But
And
as we all know, generally speaking, that means we're going to be at one another's throat even that much more.
Right. Idle time is not good for the body or the soul.
What's the old saying? Idle time
It's
is
the
devil's
right.
All right,
Idle
his
hands are
idea
devil's
was,
workshop.
you remember back when there was a high unemployment under the Obama administration, and I think it was Nancy Pelosi that kind of said, oh, this is good because now people can
spend more time with their families.
Right,
now.
doing
Correct.
art and stuff like this. See, this is the assumption is that you're going to go out and spend your time very productively.
Especially because you don't have any money to buy anything.
Less money.
Do you remember the art boom of 2010 to 2013? Neither
Neither
do
do
I.
I.
I don't either.
I don't
This is
remember.
crazy, Chris. On the way over here, I swear I heard on NPR this fellow talking about the big gains that we just had. On unemployment, that the numbers were way beyond what anybody had thought.
Yeah.
Oh no, these are all going to disappear because robots are going to take over all these jobs. And this is just a little temporary thing. Oh, by the way, these jobs are still only because of Barack Obama.
Yeah, well, there is a threat of that because technology does displace people. And now Marx, once again, he would say, oh, this is great. This is great. Do you really want to be, working in a factory? Do you really want to be
a cog?
Yeah. Wouldn't you rather be out fishing?
In the 1860s, there were blacksmiths and coopers and cowboys.
Right.
Now there are no blacksmiths, no coopers, and just a couple of cowboys.
But there are mechanics and panel
Right.
beaters and other things.
Industry changes.
Right. But there is one area where socialism does work.
Where?
And it's always in a small group.
And that is?
Israeli kibbutz. Everybody has the same, earns the same, lives in the same conditions. Doesn't matter what job you have. No one's more important than anyone else.
And now if you're in a kibbutz like that and you don't pull your weight, what happens?
See ya.
And by the way, the people who live there long term is not a high percentage rate. In other words, people come and go out of them a lot. They'll come there and they'll live there for a while. Our friend Rachel lived in one for a while, if I'm not mistaken. If you're out there, Rachel, listening, and I got it wrong, please let us know. But if I'm not mistaken, she lived in one for a while when she went over there after college and studied. And
they do have them where people can come in and live and experience it for a year or two. Yeah.
And it is a very small setting. And it is within the larger society, which protects it and provides for it.
So is it sustainable?
No.
Or is it?
Well, that's the whole point.
Subsidized.
And that's the whole point. You see, what socialism promises, what communism promises, it is impossible to deliver because it is based on this notion that under the right conditions, humans will be nice people. And it just is impossible because there are too many things that just read the Bible, right?
We won't want to get a little ahead because somebody wants to work harder than this other guy who doesn't want to work as hard.
It's
and get the things.
I remember an episode of All in the Family where Archie and Meathead Stivic are arguing over communism, and Stivic's going, it'd be great because everybody will have the same, there'll be equality and all of this stuff. And we hear these arguments today, right? And Archie goes, and how he would use his hands to gesticulate. And they kind of wrap the show up with this. He goes, why would anybody work their whole life to get ahead just to wind up even? and that's the whole point.
That's so true.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Human beings tend to be jealous. They tend to be envious. They to be prideful, they tend to be compassionate.
They want to produce, though.
It's the whole package. Exactly right.
But they want the results of that production too.
Exactly. And you see, that is the true root of human creativity. And this is what I believe is also lost on Marx. And that is that he thought that under communism, human creativity would flourish like never seen before. But his notion would be creativity in terms of philosophy, maybe art, architecture, that type of thing. What we see in terms of human creativity today is in all of those things and everything else. Medical technology, Automobiles. One of today's automobiles off of any manufacturing line in the world is a culmination of human creative thought.
And has more technology in it than the Apollo 11 LEM.
And are beautiful machines, beautiful things. And look what they do. They provide people with independence and freedom and liberty. I don't see what, painting something in a communist society where you don't have to work is going to be able to top that. And by the way, what we have seen in societies where people don't have to work, what happens to the infrastructure? It goes to hell.
Yeah.
In a very short order. That's part of the problem in Venezuela. The reason Venezuela is broke is because their oil industry has gone in the toilet. Now, it's now complicated by sanctions by the United States and other countries. But prior to that, their production was steadily going down ever since Chavez took over and Maduro took over from him, because they were not maintaining the oil wells. They ran off all the oil companies. They took over the oil wells, and they basically milked them. And the oil wells need to be taken care of, just like everything else.
If you don't maintain equipment,
it'll go down.
It goes
on you.
bad.
Indeed. And so it won't be a huge amount of time because the oil industry is very efficient, but it would take months, if not years, to get their full capacity back up and running.
I mean, it's almost similar to what happened in South Africa, Ari. I mean, think about it, where you had farming situations where there was great production. And then when the government took over the farms, what has happened since?
Well, the government has allowed the uneducated black population that have been laborers for so many years to take over the farms. What they've done is they have blocked off the wells to prevent the cattle and anyone getting water, and they've burnt down the farmhouses. They run the white farmers off, and these people don't know anything about commercial farming. They're all subsistence farmers.
Right.
And so the country that used to export grain and maize and fruit and vegetables is now, they have to import corn, whereas prior to that, they used to export corn.
Yeah, they were the breadbasket of Africa,
well,
the continent.
And so was Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's gone to pot,
All right.
amongst other things.
All right. We'll take a break. Come back on the other side. We got more for you, a whole lot more as the night goes on. Thank you for spending it with us. By the way, if you had tuned in earlier to catch the Rays baseball game, it had been postponed. They had some nasty weather of their own in Baltimore, and it has been rescheduled as a day-night doubleheader on Saturday, July the 13th. All right, we'll be right back. Hi, Chris Hart here. You know, I always bring you the best companies that improve your life. Now, I want to introduce you to Dr. Ronald Trevisani of Lifetime Teeth Today, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon for over 20 years. If you need dental implants or oral surgery, this is the guy and this is the place to go. Receive the highest level of dental implant care from a trusted oral surgeon. And by the way, his patients love him.
I can eat everything and I enjoy life much more. I really do. I don't have to worry about toothaches, fillings, or anything.
We had corn on the cob last night with a filet mignon. It made my toes curl up.
Dr. Trevisani, one office, one day, Lifetime Teeth Today. Multiple locations. Call 407-598-8141. Dr. Trevisani, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon. Show that smile again. Call 407-598-8141 today.
Online at drtrevisani.com.
Everyone knows Cafe Positano makes the most authentic Italian food in Central Florida. Owner Pasquale Barba is proud to share his family's delicious recipes with your family, and that includes your working family. Cafe Positano is the perfect place for your corporate lunch. Its separate fine dining area is ideal for your business meeting at a great price with special dishes that will impress everyone. Call 407-774-8080 for your next business luncheon, or tell your boss, let's go where they have the most authentic Italian food in Central Florida. Cafe Positano.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that one of the biggest investments we'll make in life is the house we choose to make our home. So why make this investment without knowing exactly what you're getting into? That's where Aubrey Kahn of Firm Foundation Home Inspections comes in. He'll make sure that excitement over the purchase of a house or rental property or commercial property doesn't turn into a nightmare after you take the keys. To get the most thorough and complete inspection, go to orlandoshomeinspector.com or just call Aubrey Kahn at 321-624-0254. Don't roll the dice on your home purchase. Remember, call Aubrey Kahn at 321-624-0254.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till the touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man that think I
You gotta
am.
wonder how a shrimp would snort cocaine. Anyway, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're just remarking on a
really little
banner.
straw.
That's it. Banner says cocaine found in shrimp in UK. All right, welcome back, as I said, to a Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour. Nostradamus there, and Lair Adams, and what's this guy's name? Aubrey Kahn.
Thingamajig. Yeah,
Aubrey
him.
Kahn.
That would be King Khan.
That's right. I am Christopher Hart. Okay, 407-774-8255 is the number. And what was that you were just saying before we went back?
Yeah, at the break, I was saying, do you remember the experiment that a college professor did with his students to illustrate socialism?
Right.
He said, I'm going to grade your next test. I'm going to give you all your grades so you'll know how you did. But then I'm going to average all the grades together, and I'm going to give everybody the same grade. So what happened was a couple students got A's, a few got B's, a couple got C's, a few got D's, 1 or 2 got F's. They averaged to a B. Well, that's not bad. Okay,
Unless you got
so the
higher
B
than that.
students were like, hey, it's no big deal. The C students said, that's fine. The F students said, hey,
Love it, yeah.
keep doing what we're doing. Some of the A students said, wait a minute. If I studied and I worked hard to get this A and I'm only getting a B, why should I study hard for the next test?
Yep.
In the next test, most of the students got B's. More of them got C's and D's. Even more of them got F's. The average went down to a C minus.
Yeah.
And that it continually
keeps going
spiraled down.
Right. Exactly.
And Frank Velasco texted me. Frank listens to the show. He says, you want to see socialism in the United States? Look at the Indian reservations.
Well, yeah, at least the ones that still don't have casino gambling. The ones that have casino gambling do pretty good. But a lot of it goes to the leaders.
But even those with casino
It's still
gambling,
socialism.
the people
Well,
at
that's
the
true. Yeah.
Outside the
the
casino,
average
life is not
person
well.
is still a pauper. It's only the leadership that have the money.
Yeah. Well, what they do is they divide it up, but the leaders always end up with more than the, shall we
Than
call
the
them?
average Joe.
But I thought everyone gets the same.
The Braves.
Everyone
Yeah.
is equal, but some are more equal than others.
I read that book.
Yeah, and once again, as I said, according to Marx, you would only have to tolerate this under socialism. But then once you got to communism, everything would be fine. But he never explains how you get from a dictatorship to everybody living harmoniously together, right? It just never really happens. Another flaw, of course, in Marx's whole theory is he didn't understand the intrinsic need for humans to understand their creator. And he just blew off religion. He called it the opiate of the masses.
Or them asses, either one.
Right. And what he was, to a certain extent, what he was doing was reemphasizing what Nietzsche had said. Friedrich Nietzsche had said that, people are sheep. Most people are sheep, and they're just following along whoever the leader happens to be, blindly and with blind loyalty. And then they're going to turn around and say, under the right conditions, these people will be ideal human beings. And, it's interesting because Hitler was totally against the communists. I mean, there's some who would argue that he would rather have fought the communists than us.
They were the first victims of his special police.
Right, exactly. And yet his notion is kind of the same thing in a way. Only his way to get there was a little bit, shall we say, more direct. He wouldn't try to change people's living conditions to get them to think right. If you didn't think right or you weren't of the right persuasion, he'd just kill you. But his notion of having a master race is the same thing. You get this sort of pure form of human being, and then once you get there, in his idea, it would be genetically, Under the Marxist idea, you get it in terms of conditions of living, but in either way, you're thinking you can get to this point where human beings are somehow perfect and flawless.
You're improving the quality of the average man.
And that is impossible to do.
Well, Chris, it also
no
seems
example
like
in human history to prove it.
Also, what it seems like is they're looking for the people to be docile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you just accept, all you have to be is acceptant of what we do. And that kind of being docile, I think, is really the main goal. Let us control.
Isn't that right, Venezuela?
I would think that he would argue it a little bit more like this. It's not that we want you to be docile. It's just that that's where you would naturally be under ideal conditions.
Because you would love it so much.
Yes,
you have nothing to worry about, nothing to fight for.
Yeah, what you think is docile is bad, to them, that's good. Why? You don't want everybody all angry with people, but that takes away the fullness of life.
The choice.
And exactly, which is why it will never happen.
That takes away excellence.
Right. It takes away all the things that make life worth living. And that is why there is so much resistance to it. If there were an shall we say, instinctual need or belief that what they are talking about is true, people would gravitate towards it. People have to be pulled toward it. They have to be brainwashed toward that nonsense. And that is
often threatened.
Indeed. Right. More often than not.
Well, it's almost like Muhammad, enforcing his religion on people. If you've got to accept it or you die or bad things are going to happen to you.
Right. And presumably under Islam, when the whole world is made to be Muslim, then you would have paradise on earth.
Yep.
And that all that means is the Muslim argument is weak.
Well, all of these arguments are weak because they're based on this notion that human nature can be changed, and it cannot be. Human nature is what makes us human beings. And as I said, it gets back to what the universe is composed of. As the Greeks put it, opposites. We can never escape that because we cannot escape this universe. So we're always going to be confronted with good versus evil, love versus hate, pride versus humility. All of the opposites, they will never leave us. We will never be able to escape them. We can only live them out. And this is why socialism and communism is nothing but a lie.
You know what else?
Hoax, you might say.
You know what else we can't escape?
The clock.
Yeah,
all right,
it's always there.
All right, it's running out. Got 1 hour in, 2 hours to go on Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour. Don't forget that Cinco de Mayo celebration still going on at Tijuana Flats. 2 tacos for $5 or a beer and a taco for $5. You choose. You can still do that. We're not socialists yet, especially at Tijuana Flats. And don't forget, in Winter Springs, Oviedo, 2 locations, and Avalon Park. When you go there, make sure you tell them you heard about them on our show.
News, opinion, passion. FM 105.5, AM 660. The Answer. WORL. Altamont Springs, Orlando. A service of Salem Media Group. It's 6 o'clock.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Gordon Griffin. A fatality as more Muslim terror attacks on Israel took place today. Rocket strikes from the Gaza Strip. Here's BBC correspondent Tom Bateman.
An Israeli man was killed overnight when a rocket hit his house in the city of Ashkelon. These waves of airstrikes and tank fire that have hit the Gaza Strip by Israel. Israel says it's targeted more than 100 militant sites. And the Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza has said that 7 people have died.
More than 450 rockets have struck Israel in the last 24 hours. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said on ABC's This Week program that he planned to meet Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov too soon to discuss U.S. concerns that Russian support for President Nicolas Maduro is fueling the political and humanitarian crisis in Venezuela. Pompeo says the U.S. wants the people of Venezuela to shape their country's future.
Our mission is to work with a large coalition, now 50 countries plus, who are determined to restore democracy and then ultimately a productive economy to Venezuela.
That audio courtesy of ABC's This Week. Fuel price analyst Trilby Lundberg says that the 5-cent a gallon increase the past 2 weeks is lower than recent increases.
In the second and third week of March, there was a 16-cent jump, followed by early April with a 12-cent jump and then a 13-cent jump.
And Lundberg says that since early January, the average price of gas has increased 66 cents a gallon, but she thinks the price of gas is about to begin decreasing.
In this 2-week period, crude oil prices slipped by the equivalent of about a nickel per gallon. So that slippage always would help the price come down, since crude oil accounts for more than half the retail price.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
With an outdated website and poor Google rankings, your competition is getting your potential customers. You need a marketing company who treats you like family. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we provide state-of-the-art websites, search engine optimization, and social media campaigns that work. Call me, Matt Buff, at 321-765-7710 and mention this ad to get your first month free. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we will make your website awesome again. We will make your social media work again. And yes, we will make your online marketing great again. Visit jjcmarketingsolutions.com or call 321-765-7710 today.
In a time when all seemed lost, a voice rose from the wilderness, a voice rooted in our unique form of government, a confident voice filled with hope and inspiration that grows louder and louder while articulating the truth for all to hear.
It is the voice to be reckoned with. It is the American Adversaries Radio Show,
featuring your host, political scholar and philosopher Christopher Hart, co-host South African American patriot Aubrey Kahn,
News Talk divas Kathy Santomassino and Patricia Summerlin, and more. Now sit back and enjoy the American Adversaries.
We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be just. Don't pick contest and because you don't know us, you don't belong. We're not gonna take it. Hello, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. No way.
All right, welcome to hour number 2 of our Cinco de Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour. That's right, folks. We are here. We are live in the Relax and Comfort Studios. There you go, Larry. I'll plug that in over here. Yep, got a table mic going here. All right, once again, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, we are live on FM 105.5 and AM 660, The Answer, which had been knocked down temporarily this evening by the lightning and thunderstorm, but Lou's got everything up and running again. And, of course, our sister station, 1520 WBZW, we are there as well. In the Relax and Comfort Studio, which you can see and hear us on the Titan Cave cam, you can see the inside, the goings-on of the Titan Cave.
You can see the back of Larry Adams' head.
That's right. You can see all of us cave dwellers in here. There's Larry. That's right. And Larry moved around the table because Kathy Santomassino has joined us in the studio. Larry Adams, of course, still in here. Nostra Dennis, Aubrey Kahn, myself, Christopher Hart, Jeff on the bridge. 407-774-8255 is the number. Before we get away from the foreign policy thing, just real quick, young Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man, has launched a couple of short-range missiles into the ocean. He's feeling unwanted and left out and neglected, and he wants some attention. That's what that is all about.
I wonder how many fish he's killed.
That's a good question. The greenies could be angry at him, should they? The mother of Otto Warmbier is being very, how should I say, real about the situation there. She is calling it a sham, basically, that that diplomacy is not going to work with this guy. And she may be right. But the president is going to try this tack until he's sure that it is not the right tack to go, because without going this way, what else are you going to do to get Kim Jong-un to give up his nuclear weapons? If you can't convince him to do it voluntarily, what is the alternative? He would have to do it involuntarily. And I think that the president does not want to do that, obviously. And I don't think anybody else really wants that to happen either. So it becomes a sort of a 3 option. You either let him keep him, you try to take him away from him, or you try to convince him to rid himself of them.
He would like everybody to be basically good, including Kim Jong-un.
And Kim Jong-un. And what the president is trying to do is cajole him into releasing, or I should say, getting rid of his nuclear capability, or at least dramatically reducing it. And that was part of the purpose of the phone call with Vladimir Putin. And by the way, there's going to be a G20 or 18 or whatever it is summit coming up here in a few weeks in Europe. And no doubt the president and Vladimir will spend a little time with one another.
Now, he has not actually changed any of the sanctions in North Korea. Is that correct?
No, he is not. And that's part of the problem that Kim Jong-un has. And that's why he's getting a little desperate. This, I do believe, sign is a good sign in the sense that it wasn't long-range ballistic missiles. They didn't fly over Japan, the provocative things that he was doing up until recently. He did shoot them just a little ways out into the ocean. It's just a, look, I'm here. I want your attention kind of thing.
I got a rocket.
And but and by the way, he also has, according to press reports, which were not disputed this morning by Mike Pompeo, has executed some of his negotiating team. And Pompeo did affirm that the next time that he meets with his counterpart in North Korea, it will be someone different. Mm-hmm. And so Kim Jong-un is mad. He wants his own results. And this is what happens in his society when you disappoint.
So if you disappoint Trump, you're fired.
Right.
If you disappoint Un, you're fired upon.
Exactly.
Well, and think about how many of his people he could feed with the money that it costs to send those missiles up.
Right.
Well, but
they're on a shoestring anyway.
But that's a material. People are dispensable.
Yep.
Right? They're just like stuff.
And he's part of the problem is he's got his own paranoid, his own ghosts that he's dealing with. And the ghosts that he's dealing with are the Korean War and the fear that North Korea would be overtaken by South Korea, if not militarily, economically.
Sure. And socially.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't want any of that to happen, because if that happens, that means he can't be
He's going to lose power.
Who he is.
I got to brainstorm. Kim Jong-un really likes American culture as much as he doesn't like the guy who's running America right now. How about this? We can get Barack Obama to help out. Because, Barack Obama's got some key friends in high places.
Yeah.
How about if we give everyone in North Korea free Netflix for a year?
No, but
do you think that might do something?
No,
I don't.
But
think
what
that
we
would turn
should
the
do
trick.
is make Eric Rodman,
Dennis
Rodman. Oh, I'm sorry,
the name
Dennis
Dennis,
Rodman,
thank
the official ambassador to the North Koreans.
That'll work.
But I think with what you're saying there, Chris, he's showing that he's not only is he desperate for attention, but if we go there to negotiate and we give him that attention, he might be more susceptible to bending towards what we're looking for.
Hasn't happened yet.
Well, no, but then no one has ever pressured him like Trump has. Everybody just lay down and acted like a little puppy wanting their tummy scratched.
Well,
if they meet again and Trump gives him an out that will make him look good to his own people,
he'll take it.
He may jump on it.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think what he wants, and this is from what we can glean from the conversation that he had with Putin recently in Vladivostok, and that is that he wants a international guarantee, be it through the UN or be it through some regional agreement where Russia, Japan, South Korea, the United States, China, all sign off on an agreement, basically a treaty of sorts, that if anybody messes with North Korea, then all the other countries would be obligated to defend North Korea. Something to that effect.
Well, they might be open to that, provided that he does what is in the agreement. The problem is we know that he always reneges on agreements.
Well, and that could be, the sticking point. And that's the caution that everybody is throwing up. But that was what he indicated to Putin, is not only does he want a guarantee from the United States, but he wants a guarantee from others in the region as well. And I can see that. And I don't think that the other countries, under the right circumstances and terms, would be an objection to that. if it means that he would actually give up his nuclear weapons and allow not just inspectors in there, but all the benefits that would accrue from capitalism.
But we know from history that whenever the United Nations, which is a group of countries, have come together and made an agreement with him, he's always reneged on it, but the UN has not ever changed anything.
Well,
So-
to my knowledge, nobody's ever offered him the guarantee that he claims he's seeking. All right,
Maybe
so-
not that guarantee.
Well, but that's the point.
But history shows he cannot be trusted.
Well, but the
So-
way he looks at it is nobody else can be trusted. Lair mentioned Libya a while ago. All right, look what happened to Muammar Gaddafi.
Yeah,
and Muammar Gaddafi had voluntarily given up his nuclear arsenal and program.
He thought that he had our backs.
And
he had his back. I mean,
he did
right.
until the socialist president Obama came in, and then
and all fairness to Obama, he didn't want to do that. It was the three witches: Hillary Clinton, Susan Rice, and what was the one? Powell, Susan Rice, and something Powell. Anyways, those three. Powell was the ambassador at the UN. Samantha Powell.
Samantha Powell, yeah.
Powers. And she was the ambassador at the UN. Susan Rice, National Security Advisor, and Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. Those three witches are the ones who put together the operation to do away with Muammar Gaddafi. And when they got done with Gaddafi, they were intent on taking care of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Hence the weapons. That was the Benghazi thing.
Yep.
That all went sour and went wrong. Those weapons were supposed to go to fight Assad, and they were going to other places. They were going to terrorists. They weren't going to where they were promised by the terrorists. They were going to send them once they got used to it and finished with them. So all of this intrigue was the three witches. So, if anything, Obama just broke weak. He was a weak man. And he let women run. No offense to women, but he let Valerie Jarrett run his life. He let Susan Rice and Samantha Powers run his life. And
to some extent, Hillary.
And exactly.
And Michelle.
all of them. And she would boss. She would get frustrated with him. She, according to Ed Klein, he couldn't pick out a tie in the morning. He was so indecisive, which I can relate to.
But you don't wear ties. On the situation though with Kim in North Korea, I really foresee eventually a coup. To me, that's probably going to be for his country, for even his military.
Maybe, but once you got the same problem there as you have in Venezuela.
Got to get enough of them on the same side, secretly, covertly.
Nobody there has any guns but the army.
Right.
Oh, no, you're right. No, I'm talking about the army doing a coup.
You'd have to get the entire leadership of the army to decide we really got to get rid of this.
And
no, just the ones at the top.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that would be the, shall we say, the
ideal,
the foreign policy get of all gets.
Yeah,
if that could be pulled off, because he has such a stranglehold even on the military there, and the fact that he can execute high-level members of his government right there, even now, indicates that he's got a great deal of loyalty, either out of fear or respect or whatever, and that would be hard to shake him loose of. I think the president understands that he has to play this line out and give it as much effort as he possibly can to make it work, because the alternatives are unacceptable. And if you don't do the first, because the alternatives are war or you let him keep them. That's about it. All right, and that's about it for this segment. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the lady who fought the law, but the law didn't win. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to tell you about our little adventure with Facebook and our Facebook queen here. She is not to be denied. All right, you're listening to the American Adversaries Radio Show. We are here. We are live, and thank you for listening.
Don't miss Dennis Prager Live, Monday, May 6th at the Holy Land Experience. Get your tickets now at theanswerorlando.com.
Come join our own Rick Brown and his wife Brenda Thursday, May 16, and celebrate the 15th anniversary of their Tijuana Flats Tex-Mex restaurant located in beautiful Winter Springs, Florida, in the Winter Springs Town Center at 160 Tuscaloosa Road. The celebration lasts all day with great deals, including the famous Throwback Thursday special of a Tijuana-sized burrito, chips, and a drink for only $5.99. There'll be happy hour prices from open to close, and the incomparable Ennis Pruitt, one of Central Florida's finest guitarists, will perform on the patio from 7 to 10 p.m. So join the fun Thursday, May 16th. Happy 15th anniversary.
Marilee here from Vacation Travel Planners, a member of Cruise Planners with the latest vacation deals.
Like Bahama cruises from $249 per person. Or how about a 7-night Alaska cruise from $649 per person? On Celebrity Cruises, book a balcony or higher on a 7-night select Caribbean, Europe, or Alaska sailings and receive specialty dinner for two. Get free prepaid gratuities on select sailings with Oceania Cruises. Sandals and Beaches all-inclusive resorts are up to 65% off. Get free prepaid gratuities on select Avalon Waterways River Cruises.
Give us a call at 321-251-4777. That's 321-251-4777. Or visit us at vacationtravelplanners.com. Keep listening to the American Adversaries for new travel specials every week. Bon voyage!
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are live on a Cinco de Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour, American Adversaries style. Thanks once again for tuning in. By the way, there has been accelerated violence in the Gaza Strip area with Israel. Evidently, some people have been killed, hundreds of rockets being fired.
Yeah, they've ranged from estimates range between 200 and 600 rockets
fired by the
24
Palestinians.
hours by the Palestinians from the Gaza Strip
Into civilian areas of Israel. Israel is responding.
Yes, appropriately.
Right. Abe Katzman is going to be traveling tomorrow, so he won't be able to join us, but he will be joining us Wednesday from, I think, New York City. All right. In the meantime, once again, thanks for tuning in. You know, we've got a red hot Facebook. What's that? I'm sorry.
Just in from the Jerusalem Post, 4 Israelis dead, 700 rockets in a weekend full of terror in Israel.
And this is the beginning of Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
Their holy time. Well, I guess
nothing holier than bombing the infidel.
The Security Cabinet in Israel has met and instructed the military to intensify its attacks on the Strip.
And by the way, they know where the rockets are coming from, but they're coming from highly densely populated civilian areas.
They always do that.
Yeah.
They'd rather
They
not.
do it from people's homes so that if the Israelis retaliate, they're killing civilians.
Oh, they killed a baby.
Homes, schools, hospitals, mosques.
Yep.
By the way, in New Zealand, they are asking people to turn in their swords and large knives.
Oh, that'll work.
And evidently, they've gone into the mosques in New Zealand and found large caches of large knives and swords and things of the
This is
like.
surprising. Why?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying it's surprising.
Well, you know, they've taken away the guns. So
So
People
that's the
resort
weapon
to
of
something
choice
else.
right now.
That's the weapon of choice. Knives and
local
swords, spears.
And evidently they're taking some what would be considered in this country draconian measures to, shall we say, invade people's areas to search for weapons.
And you know what? It's all Trump's fault.
Absolutely.
According to some, anyway. All right, we have a red hot Facebook page, and if you have not joined us there and liked us and follow us, please do. Kathy
you're missing it if you're not there.
Yeah, Kathy does great work. She's putting these. What in the world is exactly a meme? Can you describe what a meme
A
is?
meme is like the 21st century version of a cartoon or caricature.
Okay. And she picks out the best and puts up great comments there. We're getting great action there. We really appreciate it. And of course, every now and then Facebook comes along and zaps us. And you can appeal it. And so we got zapped the other day. It was an Elmer Fudd cartoon.
Yeah, it was Elmer Fudd with his
He was taking
shotgun.
And he was taking care of business with a terrorist.
Not a Wesley Weapon.
There was a terrorist standing there. You have two pictures, one with...
And we don't have to go into all the detail. But
it was
let's
a
just
very
say,
brief cartoon.
Elmer Fudd.
And the terrorist. And you know what
He
happened?
didn't miss the terrorist like he would miss Bugs Bunny. Let's put
Elmer
it that way.
Fudd was a sure shot. That's all I can tell you.
I'm surprised that the Warner Brothers did that.
Yeah, indeed. And so they pulled it down. And this is blocked
the post and reprimanded
Now, this
me.
was Friday that it went down?
This was Thursday, I think.
Thursday, the night before the first day of Ramadan.
Well,
I think it was earlier in the week. It came back up after I got my letter of
That's right.
apology.
That's right.
So it was earlier in the week.
Sometimes they'll take them down, not even tell you which one it is.
Right.
And they'll go
now,
back.
This was the same week where you had Alex Jones and Louis Farrakhan, Laura
Yiannopoulos.
Laura Loomer, another one, all kicked off of Facebook and or Twitter.
And James Woods.
Because of their quote unquote dangerous sites, commentaries, and things of that nature.
And most of James Woods' tweets are quoting other people.
Yes.
Sometimes people from history.
Yes.
Actor James Woods.
Yeah. The
One
actor,
of the
comedian
biggest
James
conservative
Woods.
voices in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And I was following him on Twitter. I never
Absolutely.
saw anything on there that was not, you would think, unacceptable.
He is great at tweaking political leaders.
Indeed, he is. And obviously, he tweaked them so that they didn't like him. But Kathy fought back.
I did. I sent actually a complaint on my Facebook page challenging it or contesting the right for me to post it. And I felt it was within the guidelines of Facebook. Who knows what the hell the guidelines are? Anybody out there I'd like to hear.
In the
Because I
meantime,
think it's based on individual, it's very subjective based on individual opinion, who looks at it, who's offended, who knows who it was. Maybe 2 or 3 people looked at it. And
All it
said,
takes is one.
Nope.
all right. So she files an appeal.
I file an appeal.
In the meantime, the president lets out a tweet where he complains about what they were doing and made some public remarks as well. And lo and behold,
They sent me an apology and they said, "We apologize. You were right. We were wrong," in a nutshell. Of course, I'm sitting there going, yes.
and they put it
And
back
they
up.
put it back up.
Now, I wonder
And-
if you put up a post, let's say 100 people share it, which is not uncommon. We get hundreds of
No,
shares.
I'm up like 200 on an average
Yeah.
post now share.
So if the post gets deleted, do all the shares get deleted
No,
too?
it still goes in the analytics. The
Okay.
analytics are there for perpetuity.
Good to know.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
a good thing. We don't get penalized all the way, just part of the way.
So if you want a great Facebook experience, you need to go to our Facebook page. And I don't mind bragging on it because it is one of the best around. And I'm talking about all the big dogs
Well,
too.
I shop them all. I mean, I go all over the place and I look to compare.
And if you have a problem with something that Kathy or any of us puts up there, call us up 407 748
Or leave a
255.
comment.
Let us know what you think is the problem.
We get comments on people liberals that say, hey, I won't say what they say because it's
There's no need.
Trash.
No need.
But they have, that would be, if I were censoring them, then I wouldn't have a right to free speech.
Yeah.
And I think it's free for anybody to say anything. You're going to agree to disagree with me, or
Right.
you're
Absolutely.
going to applaud me. One guy sent me a nice email and he said, "You are a genius, Miss Kathy." I don't know if I'm a genius.
Chris,
but
that was nice of you.
Yeah. Was that you?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to say anything.
But anyway, so I enjoy it. I get a lot of fun out of it because not only does it have entertainment value, but it has current events. If you don't like reading, like the conservative papers, they tend to, be kind of dry.
Like El Rochefosbo says, don't worry about what to think. I'll tell you what to think.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to read the news, but you want a little pop culture, a little entertainment, a little controversy, go on our Facebook page. And I put a lot of local news stories in there too. So you're getting pretty much a diverse selection of news, pop
The
culture,
full
and
spectrum.
entertainment.
The full Monty.
And some things I would like to post, but I can't post.
That's right.
I have to be careful.
Even we have standards.
Like I did post something
Every now and then
recently.
she calls me for approval,
Well,
and I don't always give it.
Well, I do push the envelope, but I
does.
figure, if you don't test the limits, you're never going to know how far you're able to go.
Yeah.
So I do push the limits, and I'm willing to take the discipline. But so far, I've only been censored for 2 of my posts.
Yeah.
And I posted probably thousands of
Oh
posts.
gosh, yeah.
So
I mean, she's
that's not a
tearing it
bad
up.
track record.
And these are things, for the most part, that you don't create. You
No,
find in
I have
places and
to-
say, that's cool.
Yeah, I
All
have
you're
to
doing
go
is
through
sharing the
a
spotlight that
lot
other
of
people
them.
have created.
A lot.
Things.
Some of them are just not.
And by the way, she put a cool new picture up on our Facebook page
Yes.
when you go there too. You got
President Trump in the lion image of.
love that. Yeah, I've been calling him the great lion of God.
And one of the things in Facebook, which is one of my original things, because, we talked about Trump resembling a lion metaphorically. I will put wisdom quotes for lions every day. There's lessons in the quotes. Some of them are things that you think about that are, kind of biblical in nature. And other ones are like success quotes or quotes that all of us should live by. And the lion he's a very wise creature. I tell you what.
Very powerful. Powerful, but knows when to use his
Yeah,
power.
he knows
King
when
of
to
the jungle.
use his power.
Yeah. Well,
So, it's a
usually,
lot of
usually the male lion lets the females do the hunting.
So that's
Then-
why Obama
then
did
he
that.
goes and eats first.
That actually is very true.
You're describing Obama in Fast and Furious.
All right. We are going to take another break. And when we come back out of that, we'll talk a little bit about some domestic politics and the effort to discredit William Barr and why it will fail. You are listening to the American Adversaries on a Cinco de Sunday show, 3-hour classic tour. Don't forget, Cinco de Mayo is still going on at all your local Tijuana flats. But we encourage you to go to the one in Winter Springs or the 2 in Oviedo or the one in Avalon Park or all 4.
Got a
Because-
$5,
Yeah.
get a taco, get a beer.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it. And that's all evening long, and entertainment tonight too at the Winter Springs location. And the storms have moved out, so it's going to be a beautiful evening. Should be cool and everything. And don't forget, on the 16th, they're going to be celebrating the 15th anniversary of the Tijuana Flats in Winter Springs. So I'd like to have you all come out and celebrate all day long. Celebration, great prices, everything. That's the 16th to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Tijuana Flats Winter Springs Town Center location. All right, we'll take a break, come back on the other side with more of our Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour.
With SRN News, I'm Gordon Griffin. Russian officials have given out conflicting numbers on a fiery accident, an airline accident that took place at Moscow's airport, but they indicate at least 40 people have died. Elena Markovskaya, a spokeswoman for Russia's investigative committee, said at a briefing early Monday that 41 people died in the accident Sunday evening and 37 people survived. President Trump tweeted Sunday that the tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese imports will jump from 10% to 25% this week, giving Chinese negotiators a fresh deadline and added pressure as talks between the two countries resume this week. Mr. Trump has threatened to increase those tariffs before and has pushed back plans to raise them twice. In his tweets, the president said that the tariff increase will happen Friday. Chinese officials expected to come to Washington for trade talks on Wednesday. This is SRN News.
Folks, do you wake up feeling more tired than the night before? Do you toss and turn all night seeking comfort that's not there? Then you need to visit Relax in Comfort. For over 51 years, family-owned and operated Relax and Comfort has helped people sit, sleep, and feel better every day. For instance, with the X10 bed, you and your partner can independently read, sleep, or watch TV in virtually any position you like. At Relax and Comfort, you can also get adjustable number beds and smart pillows that monitor your vital signs as you sleep. They can even tell you how well you're sleeping. Relax and Comfort has a better number bed at a better price. And don't forget to ask about the memory foam mattresses at 50% less than national brands. And if you mention the promo code American Adversaries, you'll get 50% off bamboo bed linen and essential oil pillows all month long. Relax and Comfort has locations in Winter Park, Windermere, Sanford, and the Villages. Visit relaxandcomfort.com or call 321-329-3118. Remember, the quality of your sleep determines the quality of your day. Relaxandcomfort.com, 321-329-3118.
Attention HR managers and business owners. If you're not screening your new hires, you're asking for trouble. Hi, I'm Kathy Santomassino with ASAP Programs. Negligent hiring is on the rise and can be an employer's worst nightmare, leading to litigation and legal costs that could cripple your business. The average cost of settling a negligent hiring lawsuit is nearly $1 million, with the largest claim on record at $26 million. With Applicant 360 screening solutions, you will be able to perform comprehensive background checks quickly and discreetly, allowing you to properly vet incoming talent. Whether your organization is big or small, it's your responsibility to safeguard your workplace and protect your customers. Don't base your hiring decisions on a first impression and a resume. Call me today at 407-702-9511. Call 407-702-9511.
Are you the kind of person who likes to do things for yourself? You enjoy the challenge and satisfaction of a job well done? Then you need to hook up with Detail Garage Orlando. Because at Detail Garage Orlando, you'll find all the products you'll need to make your car, truck, boat, or RV look and smell the best it possibly can. At Detail Garage Orlando, you can also learn the trade secrets that will make your efforts more efficient, effective, and enjoyable. To learn more and sign up for classes, go to detailgarageorlando.com or call 407-896-6366. Sign up today at detailgarageorlando.com.
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
Drivers, check your engines. The driving season is here again. If you drive a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, stop by Jerry's Mercedes-Benz before you hit the road. Jerry and his team of factory-trained professionals will perform a free safety check on your vehicle so you and your loved ones are better prepared for your trip. Likewise, if you're considering purchasing a pre-owned Mercedes or BMW, drive it by Jerry's MB first. They'll look that vehicle over for you and help you assess its value to you. Jerry's MB is easy to find. They're right off Alafaya Trail, just north of UCF. For the dealership alternative, go to jerrysmb.com or call 407-366-6499.
It's political, professional wrestling at its finest. The American Adversaries on 660 WORL and on 1520 The Biz.
Okay, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, before we move entirely away from foreign policy stuff, the president put out a tweet this afternoon that may indicate there may be a bump in the road when it comes to renegotiating trade deals with China. He is saying that as of this Friday, they are going to be putting on 25% tariffs on the items
that have not already been the tariff imposed on if they don't complete the deal or very close to it. And then he said this at the end of his tweet, no renegotiation. So evidently the Chinese may be having some cold feet. Who knows? But the president is playing it tough and saying that if they don't make a deal, the extra tariffs will go into effect. Meanwhile, the Democrats are doing everything they can to obviously try to bring him down. This is the nature of politics, but they also are very experienced at personal destruction. And even though Bill Clinton declared the politics of personal destruction over a long time ago, it never really ends.
Well, wait, let's destroy a few people first.
Right. And now Bill Barr is the target of the Democrats' wrath. And it is because he is, in their opinion, now Trump's lackey. Trump has somehow compromised him, and he is no longer, in their mind, credible. And we've talked about credibility on the show before. And this is how they maintain their credibility. And when I say they, I mean liberals in the media and liberals in the Democrats. See, they can't maintain their credibility by relying on the truth. So they maintain their credibility by tearing down the credibility of those who do rely on the truth. And that's what they are very good at. And that's what this exercise with William Barr is all about. They're talking about now they're going to hold him in contempt of Congress if tomorrow he doesn't release the full unredacted report. And as most of the media has already noted, the president, they're just showing on Fox the president's tweet about the horse. The best horse did not win the Kentucky Derby, that's for sure. Anyway, the unredacted report that is in what they call the skiff in the basement of the House of the Capitol building, I should say, is there for any senator or House member to read it. So far, only 3 have. Lindsey Graham, and I thought it was Mitch McConnell. It may have been McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy, the House leader or the House Republican leader, the minority leader, and Collins, this congressman from Georgia. No Democrats have read the copy that is in what they call the skiff. Now, that still has redactions, but it is only the redactions of grand jury testimony, which by law has to be redacted.
So they're clamoring for the public release of a report that none of them has bothered to go down and look at themselves.
Well, they would argue that the reason they're not going down to look at it is because it still has redactions in it. Now, that's true, but it has less redactions. And the redactions basically, as I said originally, aren't all that many in there to begin with. And other than finding out more names, you're not going to get more information by reading the redactions. I think only 2 or 3 full pages are redacted. Most of it are small pieces of a sentence, a word or a name or two, or maybe a paragraph. But they're not major portions of it, other than 1 or 2 pages, that are whacked out. So it's not like this isn't about reading the report, or actually, it's all about discrediting William Barr, and not because of what's going on with the Mueller report, but what he's getting ready to do, or what he's already doing. And that is to investigate what happened, why it happened, and how it happened, that an American presidential candidate was being spied on, and a counterintelligence operation being run against him and his campaign without his knowledge of it. How in the world did that come to be?
By who knows how many people in how many different agencies.
And how far up it goes. Kathy's convinced it goes all the way up to Barack Obama.
I'm with you, Kathy.
And there are every reason to think that could be the case.
Either that or Obama is a fool who didn't know what was going on in his own administration. It's think, one or the other.
Well, or he never thought he'd get caught with his hands in the cookie jar.
They were all expecting Hillary to win, and then everything would be covered up.
So it's following the breadcrumbs, so to speak.
Well, as I spoke about last week, the Susan Rice memo of January the 20th, 2017, about 15 minutes prior to Donald Trump actually being sworn in, She writes a memo recounting an office meeting in the Oval Office with Barack Obama, Joe Biden, herself, Samantha Power, I believe, was there. And I'm no doubt Valerie Jarrett was there. Joe Biden, I said. And you had Clapper and Brennan. And basically it was,
what the blank do we do now?
Right. And what are we going to tell the new guy? Right. Or how do we tell the new guy? Right. And Comey, remember, revealing stuff to Trump was all involved in all of this too. And so she recounts that in that meeting, Barack Obama simply said, we're going to do everything, quote unquote, by the book. All right. Well, what does by the book mean? Now, Barack Obama will be able to argue that I told them to do what they were supposed to do, assuming that they would do it lawfully and legally and appropriately. How am I supposed to know they didn't do it?
I found out about it when I read it in the paper.
That's basically going to be his argument. And by the way, the New York Times and the conservative media, I don't think really understood what the New York Times was doing this week. Rush Fusbo got it a little bit, but I think it kind of went over Hannity's head, and he catches most things. But the New York Times was preparing the public for the argument that, yes, we spied, but you ought to be thanking us for doing it. They're preparing the public for admitting everything we've been telling you happened, and then turning around and saying, that's exactly what we should have done. And you would have wanted us to if you were of the right mind. And as I said, Comey is already out there making this argument. Andrew McCabe makes it in his book. And that is, this is what we do. This is what you hired us to do. If we didn't do this, then we would have been doing something wrong. So be prepared for what I'm going to call the Mueller phenomena in reverse. And what I mean by that is over the last 2 years, a lot of energy, and including on this show, has been spent to undermine Harry Mueller because he was conflicted. It was an illegal investigation. So I think he was right to be criticized. But the left is now going to do that to William Barr to try to undermine anything that he finds out. But they should learn from Mueller. Mueller's report came out and everybody is accepting it. They might be mad about it. They might not like the way Barr presented it. But at the end of the day, each side is accepting it because it has something in it for each side. Guess what's going to happen, I do believe, when Barr comes to the end of his investigation?
I don't think there's going to be anything for the left.
I think there's going to be something.
Yeah.
I think there is. I think in some cases, I think what you're probably going to end up with is similar to what has happened with the Mueller investigation. Okay. There have been no charges in the main scheme of things, but you have these crimes that were committed in the process of it. They're called process crimes, with the exception of Manafort. Primarily, it's people who lied to investigators, right? I guess you could say Cohen did extra things too. By the way, he's going to prison tomorrow. He has to check in tomorrow, but he's going to go to a minimum security facility in New York, about 12, 15 miles from his home. Anyway, I do believe what we'll probably see come of this is people like Comey, McCabe, and a handful of others may be charged with process crimes, but that'll probably be the extent of it. So just be prepared. Now, it would be nice if something else were to come of this. And this, I'm not talking about Hillary Clinton. What she did was prior to the campaign, even though she might have been doing wrong things when it came to Fusion GPS. Her primary legal concerns still go back to when she was Secretary of State and Fusion GPS. The foundation and all of that stuff. That's where she has real legal jeopardy. I'm just simply saying that I can see an argument being made and being made well enough that you may not like it. You may not think it's right, but that's what we're there to do. And I'm sorry, we should have done it different, but it was extraordinary circumstances, and we did things by the book. So I hope that,
I don't agree.
I hope I'm wrong, But this is the world we live in, where you got a lot of slippery characters in the swamp, and they know how to slip and slide out of things. And by the way, the weasel who gets the disparaging and the bad reputation, evidently the weasel was a highly respected creature amongst Native Americans because he could get out of anything. The weasel could get out of anything.
Anything?
Anything. Just about.
Not a microwave.
Well,
pop goes the weasel.
By the way, Jeff told me there's popcorn downstairs.
Oh, hey, thanks.
And evidently was an excellent predictor of the weather. When the weasel would build out his lodge for the winter.
Not a groundhog.
No, they would go by. Yes, indeed. All right, we're going to take a break, come back on the other side and pick this up. And don't forget, we still have another hour to go when this one wraps up. Some odd stories Kathy's got here. We got some closing remarks for you, although we got a twist for the closing remarks tonight. And our California gorgeous lady is going to regale us with all of the tales from the Cauliflower Alley Club convention in Las Vegas, which just wrapped up the other day. All right, we're the American Adversaries, and we'll be right back.
Hi, Chris Hart here. You know, I always bring you the best companies that improve your life. Now, I want to introduce you to Dr. Ronald Trevisani of Lifetime Teeth Today, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon for over 20 years. If you need dental implants or oral surgery, this is the guy and this is the place to go. Receive the highest level of dental implant care from a trusted oral surgeon. And by the way, his patients love him.
I can eat everything and I enjoy life much more. I really do. I don't have to worry about toothaches, fillings, or anything.
We had corn on the cob last night with a filet mignon. It made my toes curl up.
Dr. Trevisani, one office, one day, Lifetime Teeth Today. Multiple locations. Call 407-598-8141. Dr. Trevisani, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon. Show that smile again. Call 407-598-8141 today.
Online at drtrevisani.com.
Everyone knows Cafe Positano makes the most authentic Italian food in Central Florida. Owner Pasquale Barba is proud to share his family's delicious recipes with your family, and that includes your working family. Cafe Positano is the perfect place for your corporate lunch. Its separate fine dining area is ideal for your business meeting at a great price with special dishes that will impress everyone. Call 407-774-8080 for your next business luncheon, or tell your boss, let's go where they have the most authentic Italian food in Central Florida. Cafe Positano.
Well, you've heard the horror stories. The couple comes home from shopping.
Oh my gosh, there's water pouring out of the ceiling fan in the living room. Henry, quick, grab a bucket.
My new wood floors. They're ruined. Gosh, I wish we had this home inspected before we signed on the dotted line.
This is Aubrey Kahn of Firm Foundation Home Inspections. Buying a home is the biggest investment you'll make. You have to know what you're getting into. Henry and June now have a nightmare on their hands. Don't let that happen to you. Call Firm Foundation Home Inspections before you sign on the dotted line. We'll inspect the property from roof to foundation with the latest technology to know if there are any leaks or electrical problems. You'll get a detailed report, and at Firm Foundation, we warranty our work, ensuring your peace of mind.
Don't make that big investment without calling the home inspector that more realtors use. Firm Foundation Home Inspections. Call 321-624-0254 or go online to orlandoshomeinspector.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Let's go, American Adversaries. Got a big week ahead of us. Tomorrow, you have Dennis Prager, who is going to be at the Holy Land Experience. I'm not sure that there are any tickets left because they were hot and heavy. He's going to be doing a live remote broadcast of his show with a live studio audience at the Holy Land Experience. And it is the debut of his brand new book, the second in a five book series
and it is of the first five books of the Bible, and this one is Genesis. The second book is Genesis, the first book of the Bible. He started with the Exodus. Anyway, the book debuts tomorrow, and we're looking for a great program from Dennis Prager right here in Orlando tomorrow. And then Tuesday evening, we're going to be doing a live remote broadcast from the National Entrepreneur Center for the annual Biz Fest. We've done this, I think it's our 5th year doing this now. And of course, you're welcome to come out for that. Biz Fest. It starts at noon and culminates with a cocktail party, which usually wraps up around 7:30 or 8. It is a free networking opportunity. If you are an entrepreneur or someone who would like to start a business, this would be a great opportunity to come out and get to know the folks at SCORE and the National Entrepreneur Center, a hidden treasure here in Central Florida. And then Thursday, of course, we're going to be at the Trump Day dinner, and this is going to be at the Marriott in Lake Mary. If there are any tickets left, there are very few. It was, as of last week, it was almost sold out, but you can try TrumpDayDinner.com to see if there are any tickets left, TrumpDayDinner.com. Brad Parscale, or I think it's pronounced Parscale. I've heard it pronounced a couple other ways, but anyways, Brad is going to be there. He is the Trump 2020 campaign manager, or as he puts it, conductor for the true campaign manager, which as he puts it is Donald Trump. Anyway, Brad is going to be there. He'll be the keynote speaker, be a VIP reception. Once again, I don't know if any of those tickets are left, but you can go to TrumpDayDinner.com to find out. And we will be there doing a live remote broadcast. So got a big week lined up for you this week. And don't forget, Abe is going to be with us. Abe Katzman will be with us Wednesday because he will be traveling tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Democrats, as we've pointed out, have a big problem. And it is not so much Donald Trump as it is a problem of their own creation, and that is what to do about impeachment. You even now have this character Swalwell. He's trying hard to get some traction in the presidential primary. He's saying that forget about impeaching Trump. Let's impeach William Barr. Let's at least impeach somebody.
And that's working for at least a short term. I think he's up to 4% now.
Yeah, something like that.
So he's getting some attention.
He was down at around 0, so I guess he is getting a little something. Anyway, I think the same argument, however, Nancy Pelosi would make against that notion as she's making against impeaching Trump, and that is that it is a dead end. It won't work. You know, even if it gets out of the House, and it's not guaranteed, but even if it were to get out of the House, it'll die in the Senate. And by the way, as I just said, there's no guarantee that Trump would be impeached by the House, which is basically indicting him. And then there would be a hearing in the Senate whether to convict him or not, because he may not be impeachable in the House because many of the new members of the House of Representatives, if you remember, were elected in districts where Trump won. Mm-hmm. If you remember, soon after the election last year, I said there's good news and bad news for the Republican Party. The bad news for the Republican Party is quite a few of the new members of the House won in districts that Trump won. That's the bad news. The good news is these members won in districts that Trump won. That's the good news. That means that these people are under pressure not to go so far to the left, or they're going to lose that seat.
And if they do, the Republicans are going to hone in on those seats and
get
pour
it back.
Money into them.
And get it back.
Yep.
Right? This is something we mentioned on our very first show, very first edition. And that is that there's a perverse rule of politics, and that is that victories can be turned into defeats and vice versa.
Plus, there are a few weak Republicans that we needed to get rid of that we're purging.
Right.
So there's fewer of us, but we are stronger.
Exactly. The House of Representatives is more conservative without those swamp
now, if
creatures.
we could only get those 2 or 3 Republican senators that never vote the right way and always vote the left way.
Collins, Murkowski, and now Mitt Romney, it would appear. Nonetheless, the Democrats do have a serious political problem. And by the way, have you noticed how Nancy Pelosi is suddenly looking, shall we say, like she's been working very hard? I mean, she is not
more wrinkled than usual.
Yeah, she needs a Botox fix.
No,
bad.
she needs to go through the dryer.
Something. She is showing, shall we say, signs of wear and tear, and it is uncommon for her. because she usually starts out her day in the chair.
Facelift? She spends an hour and a half
in the chair. Exactly. And it looks like she's been missing those appointments lately. Nonetheless, she's got a serious problem on her hands. And that is that a good deal of the base and these young whippersnappers, AOC and Omar and the other ones, they want Trump. They want him. They want to impeach him. They don't care. That's they want it. But Pelosi is a little bit too wise for that. And so this internal struggle is going to continue to play out right on up to the election. And she is right to believe that if they do impeach him, that it would be a death knell for them. By the way, the polls indicate this as well. Even Democrats don't massively want to impeach the president, although it's, as you might think, more Democrats than Republicans do. But even when it comes to the president's approval rating, he's at 46% in the NBC poll. And by the way, they noted this morning what we noted months ago about him. Remember, I likened his poll numbers in the Rasmussen poll, I think it was, to a Chinese dragon, where, you got a bunch of people inside the Chinese dragon, but really it's just kind of a flat creature. That's kind of his poll numbers, right? Mid to upper 40s. And that's where the NBC poll is. After all of this, he is at his highest level in their poll, even though it's at the high range of their poll, 46% approval rating.
And there are still people who will not answer the phone and say, yes, I approve of Trump, who will in 2020 go into the ballot box and pull the R next to his name.
And isn't he trending as far as the poll for Republicans? He's the highest. He's even ahead of Reagan. I think he was 96%.
No, he's still over 90%.
No, it was like 96%.
And
it was crazy.
No other president from either party in history, since they've been doing this type of polling, has ever had that support from his own party.
Not even Reagan in his first term.
Not Reagan, not Obama, not Clinton, not Kennedy, not nobody. Nobody but Donald J. Trump. And you're right. As far as the polling goes, it's a bit misleading because not only did people not answer or participate like they used to, but they still overweight. And they overweight Democrats. And their reasoning is, well, there's more Democrats registered. And to a certain extent, there's truth in that. But the problem is that just because somebody's registered as a Democrat doesn't mean they're going to vote Democrat, or that all of the independents aren't going to be more conservative than liberal, which they tend to be.
Well, if the same polling places are using the same metrics they used in 2016 in 2020, that means Trump is going to win by even more.
I think he is going to win by even more.
Yeah, because look at the polls among people of color, minorities and Hispanics and Asians. It's higher than when Obama was president.
Yeah.
And if you add them all together, it's a big demographic. I mean, it's going to take somebody who on the Democratic side who can walk on water and chew gum at the same time is going to be Trump.
And I don't think we've found that person yet. All right, we will take another break. Once again, it is Cinco de Sunday evening, 3-hour classic tour, American Adversaries style. 2 hours in, another hour to go. And don't forget, Mark Walters and Armed American Radio will follow us up here at 8 o'clock and take you live until 11. We'll be right back.
Close to folks you have you ever felt the pain so powerful, so heavy you
News, opinion, passion. FM 105.5, AM 660. The Answer. WORL. Altamont Springs, Orlando. A service of Salem Media Group. It's 7 o'clock.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Gordon Griffin. North Korea has grabbed the attention of the United States, Japan, and South Korea with more missile launches.
South Korea's military says North Korea launched several short-range missiles into the ocean off its eastern coast early Saturday. The missiles flew about 125 miles. Seoul says it's very concerned about the launches, calling them a violation of last year's inter-Korean agreements to reduce tensions between the countries. Japan's defense ministry says the missiles did not pose any immediate risk to the country, though the launch did prompt a phone call between Japan's foreign minister and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. South Korea is urging the North to halt acts that would raise military tensions and join efforts to resume nuclear negotiations. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The national average price of gasoline has increased again during the past couple of weeks.
It's up a nickel. The new national average for regular grade is $2.97. but this is a far cry from the kind of hikes we were seeing during March and April.
But there is some relief on the way.
Several of the many maintenance projects going on and some unplanned repairs are being completed, and as that capacity comes back up, there'll be more gasoline supply. So I think that we are coming to an end regarding this long price surge.
That is fuel price analyst Trilby Lundberg of the Lundberg Survey. The Wall Street Journal reports that Facebook plans a cryptocurrency-based payment system that it could launch for billions of users worldwide. The system would use a digital coin similar to Bitcoin, but different in that Facebook would aim to keep the coin's value stable. Bitcoin and similar cryptocurrencies have been susceptible to wild fluctuations in value. It could reportedly undermine credit cards by sidestepping the processing fees that generate much of their revenue. More on these stories at townhall.com.
With an outdated website and poor Google rankings, your competition is getting your potential customers. You need a marketing company who treats you like family. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we provide state-of-the-art websites, search engine optimization, and social media campaigns that work. Call me, Matt Buff, at 321-765-7710 and mention this ad to get your first month free. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we will make your website awesome again. We will make your social media work again. And yes, we will make your online marketing great again. Visit jjcmarketingsolutions.com or call 321-765-7710 today.
In a time when all seemed lost, a voice rose from the wilderness, a voice rooted in our unique form of government, a confident voice filled with hope and inspiration that grows louder and louder while articulating the truth for all to hear.
It is the voice to be reckoned with. It is the American Adversaries Radio Show,
featuring your host, political scholar and philosopher Christopher Hart, co-host South African-American patriot Aubrey Kahn,
News Talk divas Kathy Santamassino and Patricia Summerlin, and more. Now, sit back and enjoy the American Adversaries.
We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be just. Don't pick contest and because you don't know us, you don't belong. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore.
All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, for hour number 3 of the American Adversaries Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour. Once again, thank you so very much for tuning in. And yes, indeed, you can see the Titan Cave critters on our Titan Cave cam. That's American Adversaries on YouTube. And don't forget, you can access that YouTube channel via our Facebook page, which is Red Hot Can't Be Stopped. That's American Adversaries on Facebook. And once again, we are here live in the Relax in Comfort studios. Got Aubrey Kahn along with Nostradamus, Lair Adams, Kathy Santamassino, and myself, Christopher Hart. Jeff is on the bridge. 407-774-8255 is the number. It is now time once again to check in with our gorgeous lady, our very own gorgeous lady of wrestling, Sunny, the California girl. How you doing tonight, Sunny?
I'm doing great. How are you, Chris?
We're doing great too. So tell us, have you recovered from the Cauliflower Alley Club convention yet?
Oh my gosh, barely. I still feel it. You know, it just, I was there from Saturday to, goodness, when did I leave? Thursday.
Right.
Right, Thursday. So it just was a whirlwind and it was great. And I had a really good time. I went to the seminars this time. I didn't spend much time in the nostalgia room where I should have been, and my apologies to anyone who's listening, but I wanted to see Dr. David Schultz seminar and Dory Funk.
Dory Funk Jr. Yeah, I was going to say Dory Funk Jr. Oh, God, I remember those guys. He used to wrestle here in Orlando every Monday night against the likes of Dusty Rhodes and Harley Race and others.
Not the Southern Wrestling Alliance? Is that what they were
he
called?
He wrestled there too, but this was the Florida Wrestling Alliance. What they call it, Larry? You remember what Gordon Soley and all?
Champ.
Championship Wrestling from Florida.
That's right.
That's right. From the
Yes.
Sunshine State.
There you go. Yep, he's been around. He also wrestled here in Los Angeles.
Is that, yeah, okay, cool.
Yes.
Well,
So he was back in the days in the 60s and 70s. So I do remember him as a child when I was 5 years old.
Now
So it was pretty cool to meet them as well and to see my friend Andrew Anderson get honored with the Men's Wrestling Award. You know, congrats again. Hats off to him. My dear friend Tony Villano, which I finally met for the first time, who was, I guess, the front runner and creator of the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Texas. You know, he's involved in many, many sports programs and whatnot, but he finally got honored. That's a great thing. Mark Henry. From WWE.
Big Mark Henry.
The world's strongest man.
Yes, indeed. And he still is. He's pretty big. And Tyrus was there to introduce him. Tyrus Murdoch, I think is the name.
Yeah, you see him on
Is
Fox.
it Tyrus Murdoch? Brodus Clay.
yeah.
That's it. Brodus Clay, not Tyrus Murdoch. I get them all confused.
Tyrus
But
was
again,
great,
that's
Sonny.
my concussions from wrestling. So Brodus Clay, really nice guy. Great people, great presenters, great show. It ran a little long. I think the video presentations could have been a little shorter, and the music didn't fit.
Sonny, Tyrus
Oh.
was great in the TV series, the Glow series. Did you see him in that?
The what now?
In the TV series about Glow. The one on
What
Netflix.
about the Glow Netflix
Yeah.
series? Did I
Tyrus
see
was
what?
in that along with his brother on camera. Yeah.
No. The third series of Netflix is not out yet.
No,
So
wait,
I
we're
don't
talking
know.
about-
Yeah,
we're
I've
talking about
watched every single series, of course, because it's about us.
Yeah.
And I critique it very carefully, of course. But yeah, no, I have not. The third season has not been introduced to us yet. We're going to have a party, another third Afterglow series party at Roxy Astor's house. And when they do announce it, we'll watch the first screening, the first episode of the Glow Netflix. And then we'll watch the rest, on our own time.
Quick question for you, Sonny. You were talking about Dory Funk. Is his brother Terry still around?
Terry Funk, yes.
Yeah, well, that's good. He was in the film Roadhouse.
Yes, indeed he was, yes. And Terry usually appears at the CAC. He hasn't missed an event, but his wife has passed away. So it's kind of sad there. We've, lost a lot this year. And on the screen, on this memorial screen, I teared because the last and final was the Destroyer, Dick Beyer, who was a very dear friend of my family and my father and my memories with him. And so it was very tough this year. I was bawling. I was like, oh, God. But there was quite a few that we've lost. It's very sad.
And by the way, the Cauliflower Alley Club is set up to help former professionals in the industry who need a little help at the end of their lives, the end of their careers, and also to honor professionals in the business, which is what, Sonny is talking about here. Were you the only Glow girl there?
No, I was not. There was Roxy Astor. She did not attend the banquet, though she seldom does. I hope one year she will. She did for our honors, but Hollywood, Lightning, and Royal Hawaiian. And that's it. But, it was a great time. And, no, we don't sit together. Us Glow girls lead our very different lives, and we're not together. We remain, how do I say this? We're all Glow girls, but we don't all get along. So we just kind of, we're very professional and civil and nice, but that's as far as it goes. So I was sitting at another table with my friends because I have a circle of family that I call my circle of friends there, Ring of Friendship, which is my little Seth Fish and Chips, Bare Knuckles. He's been in a wheelchair. You'll see pictures on Facebook and also Instagram. He's a tough little guy, and he's out of Washington. That's my little buddy. I have Wayne Palmer, the resident photographer, world-renowned, amazing. He was at the table. I have Forrest Grump, a.k.a. Forrest Barnett, sitting there, and Andrea the Giant. I sat next to her. I call it the Motley Crew, and it's really cool because I became very close with them. So,
Sonny, are you familiar with Bob Armstrong and his
Yes.
family? Yeah, he's my first cousin.
What?
Yeah, Bob Armstrong's
Who
my
would have
cousin.
thought there? Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen the man in decades. His
Oh
side
my
of the family
goodness!
hasn't been that close to us.
Wow.
So
well, that's something to
was he
look
there?
into.
Have you seen him
should
lately?
catch up to him and then come join us at the CAC. I don't know if Bob has been there. Has Bob been there? I don't know. I don't think he has.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, of course. I have to look into see if he has appeared, but yeah, that's pretty awesome there, Lair.
Yeah, my mother's the only one living from even his family background.
Wow.
So someday I hope to get back in touch with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's very cool. Very, very cool.
Recently, and I texted you about this. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, but recently a new series has come out on the Vice channel. And the Vice channel has got series on there called Bong Etiquette. Bong Etiquette, as in BONG. And a show called Slut Ever, and where a young lady goes around checking out various forms of sexual business, you might
and
say.
Sex toys.
And toys. And now they're doing a series called The Dark Side of the Ring. Have you?
Right, I did. I looked it up, and it's pretty cool on the Vice channel series, Dark Side of the Ring docuseries, which wrestling fans will be able to relive some of the most infamous moments, and God knows we all have those.
Right.
And learn about the untold secrets. And it's pretty interesting because they have 6 episodes, and it premiered April 10th. And examines the tragic love story of Macho Man, even Randy Savage and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And also the history of the Von Erichs and the so-called curse, of course.
Yeah.
Also speaks about the screw job that stopped Bret Hart from his title.
Yeah.
And of course, another one that's always very close and near and dear to my heart because I know Barbara, his wife, Bruiser Brody. She's there every year at the Cauliflower Alley Club. And in fact, I've got several pictures with her, and I love her. What a sweet lady. But the unexplained locker room fight, which led to Bruiser Brody's death.
Yeah.
So,
and the fact that the person who stabbed him to death never spent even a night in jail. He was arrested. He was arrested and then immediately released. By the way, there's one coming up on the Fabulous Moolah. And
yes, the Fabulous Moolah, and there's a lot of controversy there too.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I thought that I didn't know there was controversy that surrounded her.
Oh yeah, we just went through that last year at the Cauliflower Alley Club, in fact, because they had brought her up in honors, and they said, why should she be honored? You know, she was a horrible woman. She mistreated her wrestlers. She bullied them. There was some sexual assault, I understand, and all sorts of things. But then on the flip side, you talk to some of the girls that she was trained by. Oh, we love her. And some of the men, oh, she's the best. So, you're always going to have that in everything, I guess,
I suppose. So your comic book about done?
It's going to be out June 2nd on Kickstarter. It'll be released like they did with Jack Swagger. And then June 25th, it'll be released. So just in time to go to Florida, June 29th, I'll have the comic book.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
So I'm very excited about that.
By the way, you looked great on Dr. Phil. Thought you looked
great. Thank you.
Yeah, it was an excellent segment that they did with you.
Thank you. Yes, that's to get it out there and propel, just to get me some, exposure, because everyone's like, well, Sonny, I didn't know you had any bad skin. I go, well, I really don't. It's called kayfabe.
Well, you played it up. You played it up well.
Yeah, because now I'm going to do a talk show circuit. Actually, I did the Good Day La La Land, and I brought Roxy on board for that. But I'm going to do some other talk shows in regards to the autobiography and possible movie after that. I've got the person already starting to write my book.
Right.
My life story. So that'll be where I want to get that out there and start getting the message out with the comic book and things like that.
Well,
so
sure. And
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So we'll see where, what my next show will be and where I'll pop up at. I'm definitely going on tour though.
Well, make sure you let us know so we can let all of our followers know as well. And I think
absolutely,
one thing,
it.
One thing,
and I'm going to see you,
Yeah.
I can't, so excited. June 29th, or actually they'll probably be after the Comic-Con.
Right.
We'll come back through on that Sunday. So it'll be June 30th.
We're looking forward to it. Sounds
Yes.
like it's going to be a lot of fun. In the
Yes.
meantime, have a great week. As usual, thanks for filling us in.
Yes, you got it. And Kathy, keep up with those memes. I just keep laughing. I love them.
Oh, thanks a lot, Sunny. Glad you're
and
enjoying
I
it.
hope you're doing well and things have gotten better for you as well.
Well, I'm still sick, but I'm hanging in there.
Well, I'm praying for you to feel better and, you know, and just stay lovely as you are. And let's wait a minute, everyone. Did you see my Trump pin and all my bumper stickers and all my goodies that I got? I got this actual.
Yes, as a matter of fact, where can we get some of that stuff?
Would you like them? I will do that. I would get that for you. I'll bring some with me. How's that?
Good. That sounds like
for
a winner.
June. I was very excited, and I posted. I got it from Wayne Palmer.
Oh, okay.
The photographer. So
I saw this.
he presented that at the CAC. He goes, "I've got something for you, Sonny," and I'm like, "Oh, yay!" You know, it was wonderful.
See,
I love it.
He must have listened to you on the show to know that that's what you would like.
Well, he knows I'm a Trump supporter.
That's
Thanks,
great.
you guys.
Well, thanks.
Thanks
you.
to the turnaround and thanks to the shape of this world, I actually have definitely. Well, I've always been conservative, but I've been more, you know, because I'm from California. But I've seen how the changes have. I can't even say I'm from California and say it proudly because it's shameful the way it's ran here.
Well,
so I definitely don't stand as a Democrat anymore.
Well,
that's for sure.
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate you so very much. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, and you as well, and Lair, and whoever is Dennis on.
He's right
Dennis,
here.
Has he been
Hi,
on?
Sonny.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
all
thanks for
right.
going
Well,
on
we'll say
Facebook
goodbye to all
Live.
of you guys, and take care. Have a blessed week.
Take care, Sonny.
Bye, Sonny.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, we will be right back with more of the American Adversaries radio show on a Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour.
Don't miss Dennis Prager live Monday, May 6th at the Holy Land Experience. Get your tickets now at theanswerorlando.com.
Come join our own Rick Brown and his wife Brenda Thursday, May 16th, and celebrate the 15th anniversary of their Tijuana Flats Tex-Mex restaurant located in beautiful Winter Springs, Florida, in the Winter Springs Town Center at 160 Tuscaloosa Road. The celebration lasts all day with great deals, including the famous Throwback Thursday special of a Tijuana-sized burrito, chips, and a drink for only $5.99. There'll be happy hour prices from open to close, and the incomparable Ennis Pruitt, one of Central Florida's finest guitarists, will perform on the patio from 7 to 10 p.m. So join the fun Thursday, May 16th. Happy 15th anniversary.
Merrily here from Vacation Travel Planners, a member of Cruise Planners with the latest vacation deals.
Like Bahama cruises from $249 per person. Or how about a 7-night Alaska cruise from $649 per person? On Celebrity Cruises, book a balcony or higher on a 7-night select Caribbean, Europe, or Alaska sailings and receive specialty dinner for 2. Get free prepaid gratuities on select sailings with Oceanic Cruises. Sandals and Beaches all-inclusive resorts are up to 65% off. Get free prepaid gratuities on select Avalon Waterways River Cruises.
Give us a call at 321-251-4777. That's 321-251-4777. Or visit us at vacationtravelplanners.com. Keep listening to the American Adversaries for new travel specials every week. Bon voyage!
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at PHF.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. And it is that time of the evening for some odd stuff.
Well, for a pair of Florida teens who were swept out to sea by a strong current, they said praying for help when their rescue came was in the form of a boat called the Amen. Did you hear about this story?
I heard the teens were rescued. I didn't know the name of the boat was called the Amen.
Well, these teenagers, both 17, so they decided to go swimming in Volano Beach for senior skip day, but a strong current left them stranded about 2 miles off the coastline for about 2 hours. The pair said they started to pray for help. Crew members on a boat sailing from South Florida to New Jersey heard the teens' calls for help and headed toward their voices. The teens said they were shocked when they saw the name of the vessel, the Amen. The crew took the teens who were exhausted but not injured back to shore. There's no other reason, no other explanation in the world other than God, the teenage girl said after her miraculous rescue.
Yeah, it was a couple of kids. They went swimming. They both got swept out to sea and were out there about 2 hours. And fortunately, the Amen showed up.
It's amazing. Well, a woman who just recently moved to South Carolina was welcomed to the neighborhood by an unusual scene, an alligator ringing her doorbell. The woman who recently moved from New Jersey to Myrtle Beach said she arrived home to see an alligator at her front door. She recorded video as the gator climbed onto its hind legs and appeared to ring the doorbell. This would be a great ad for that Ring device, you know, the one that's remote with the camera.
Yeah.
Anyway, the recent transplant told a local TV station that this was the coolest thing that could have ever possibly happened to anyone. The gator was removed by a trapper and relocated, so the gator didn't get to be gator meat that day.
Yeah.
Well, a Pennsylvania barbershop is aiming to teach confidence to kids by offering them $3 to read aloud while getting their hair cut. The City Cuts Barbershop in Kutztown announced the Books by Kids program, which offers young customers $3 to read a book to their barber while getting their hair cut. The owner said the idea behind the program is to build kids' confidence by giving them experience with public speaking. He said the program was inspired by research indicating that a high percentage of adults fear public speaking. I think we all do to a degree until we get up there.
You know, it's interesting that every night I come in here to do this, I never have any butterflies, not nervous at all. Put me in front of 20 or 25 people.
It's stage
and I can't
fright.
sleep the night before.
It's different because you're in front of tens of thousands of people in their cars and in their homes every night.
How many?
Tens of thousands.
How many?
Hundreds of
Well,
thousands.
hopefully it's more than 10,000.
I don't want to know.
At least 3.
Most people fear public speaking more than they fear
Well, they
death.
say the key is if you're the speaker, pretend the audience that you're speaking to is buck naked. It always works.
That makes me more
work.
nervous.
That doesn't work.
That could be distracting. Let's just put it, depending on your audience, right?
And some people, let's face it, some people look better in clothing, right?
Indeed. Most people do.
Well, an Idaho man credited an act of kindness with earning him the good karma that led to a $200,000 lottery jackpot. The man told lottery officials that he was shopping in the Boise Town Square area last Monday evening when he paused to give a few dollars to a homeless man. He then went on to a local store where he purchased a few lottery tickets. One of the tickets, a juggernaut jackpot scratch-off game, turned out to be a $200,000 winner. I only get $5 when I do those scratch-off tickets. Anyway, talk about karma, the man said. His plans are to save and invest his winnings. So, good deeds will reward you.
Usually for me, it's good. No good deed goes unpunished.
Right. There you go. And this week's Guinness World Record goes to, we have a 3-way tie. A North Carolina museum with a 4-foot-long ant farm now on display that has been officially dubbed the world's largest by Guinness World Records. Discovery Place Science in Charlotte unveiled the ant farm, which is 4 feet long, 3 feet tall, and 3 inches wide for its annual Anthropod Day. The museum said the ant farm, built by Terminix Services, was certified by Guinness World Records as the world's largest ant farm. If you'd like to see the ant farm, it will be on display through May 11th.
I had an ant farm once. Turned out to be a bad decision.
Mom sprayed it with DDT, right?
They all escaped. Let's just put it that way.
Well,
that put a fire in your butt in the bed, right?
And then we have a group of bakers in Italy that broke a Guinness World Record when they created a strawberry cake measuring nearly 200 feet long. The bakers spent a total of 300 hours creating the 198-foot, 4-inch long cake that was unveiled at an event this week in Scanzano, Cinco. The cake, which was topped by 1,763 pounds of strawberries and was created by several Italian bakers with a team of volunteers. The cake surpassed a 105-foot cake created in France in 2017. The attempt was organized by the Percini Secondo Company, which supplied the strawberries for the cake. That's a lot of strawberries.
Yeah, they're in season, by the way. Them. They're on sale now.
Right, but the Guinness Book of Records?
Yes.
The London Marathon, which a nurse ran in her uniform, scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
She applied for the record because she beat the record for any nurse running the London Marathon by over 20 seconds. They refused to give it to her because she was not wearing a dress.
Interesting. Well, they're very specific with their rules.
Nurses wear dresses when they're...
Well, traditionally they wore white dresses.
Wow.
Back in the day.
And so that's one of the requirements.
That was one of the requirements, and she was wearing scrubs.
She ignored it.
She
got scrubbed.
She didn't.
Well, then
she got scrubbed. Yes.
Well, then we have our third winner. He's a Croatian athlete and fitness trainer. He broke a Guinness World Record when he spent 24 hours pushing a smart car for 66 miles. You know those little smart cars?
He could have called AAA.
Yeah, that's it. They would have brought him gas.
Tomislav Lubinjak broke the Guinness World Record for pushing a car the farthest in 24 hours when he surpassed the 51-mile previous record and continued pushing the car until he reached the 66 miles. Guinness rules required the 1,609-pound car to have a driver and for the driver to be switched out every 4 hours. Lubinjak was allowed 3-minute breaks every hour. Lubinjak is waiting for Guinness to review the video footage and award him as the official record holder. That is far, 66 miles.
It depends.
That would be from here to Daytona
Beach.
Well, that would be
and
from
why are you
here,
bringing his underwear into question?
That would be from here to Daytona Beach.
Actually, a little bit further than that, but yes, it's quite a push.
Well, a road trip enthusiast arrived in Washington, D.C. and completed his quest to visit all 419 National Park Service sites 3 years to the day after he began. Mika Meyer said he was inspired by his late father's love of road trips when he set off April 20th, 2016, the 11th anniversary of his father's death, on a quest to visit all 419 National Park Service sites. Meyer set a Guinness World Record by becoming the youngest person to visit all of the National Park Service sites, as well as becoming the first to visit all of the sites in a single continuous road trip. Meyer, who also used the trip as a means to advocate for the LGBT community, said much of his funding came from singing at churches along his route.
Singing at churches.
I bet he has a great voice.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a break, come back with more on the other side. You are listening to the American Adversaries on a Cinco de Sunday evening.
With SRN News, I'm Gordon Griffin. Russian officials have given out conflicting numbers on a fiery airline accident in Moscow, but they indicate at least 40 people died. A spokeswoman for Russia's investigative committee said that at a briefing early Monday that 41 people died in the accident Sunday evening and 37 people survived. President Trump says special counsel Robert Mueller shouldn't testify before the Congress. The president moving away from his previous declaration that he would leave that decision to his attorney general. Cell phone video taken by a passenger shows other passengers and crew lining up on a plane's wing as they get drenched by rain after the aircraft has landed in a river at a Florida military base. The video taken by passenger Darwin Silva shows passengers in yellow life jackets cautiously walking along the Boeing 737's left wing as they wait to be rescued from the St. Johns River. This is SRN News.
Do you suffer from lower back pain? Do you ache worse after sitting in a regular chair? Are you one of 80% of Americans who suffer debilitating back pain sometime in your life? Then you need to try the perfect chair at Relax and Comfort. Designed after the NASA G couch for astronauts, the perfect chair offers you comfort that no other chair can. Sitting in an average chair places over 8 times more pressure on your spine than standing. The effects of this over time cause the average person to shrink 1 to 2 inches, but not with the perfect chair. It's motorized and has individual elevation for the head and feet, providing you with every option you need for a pain-free experience. So try the perfect chair at Relax and Comfort and ask about no-interest financing. Mention the promo code American Adversaries and get 50% off Maloof bamboo bed linens or essential oil sleep pillows all month. Relax and Comfort is family-owned and operated and has locations in Winter Park, Windermere, Sanford, and the Villages. Go to relaxandcomfort.com or call 321-329-3118. Get your perfect chair and enjoy blessed relief and unparalleled comfort today.
Attention HR managers and business owners. If you're not screening your new hires, you're asking for trouble. Hi, I'm Kathy Santomassino with ASAP Programs. Negligent hiring is on the rise and can be an employer's worst nightmare, leading to litigation and legal costs that could cripple your business. The average cost of settling a negligent hiring lawsuit is nearly $1 million, with the largest claim on record at $26 million. With Applicant 360 screening solutions, you will be able to perform comprehensive background checks quickly and discreetly, allowing you to properly vet incoming talent. Whether your organization is big or small, it's your responsibility to safeguard your workplace and protect your customers. Don't base your hiring decisions on a first impression and a resume. Call me today at 407-702-9511. Call 407-702-9511.
Are you the kind of person who likes to do things for yourself? You enjoy the challenge and satisfaction of a job well done? Then you need to hook up with Detail Garage Orlando. Because at Detail Garage Orlando, you'll find all the products you'll need to make your car, truck, boat, or RV look and smell the best it possibly can. At Detail Garage Orlando, you can also learn the trade secrets that will make your efforts more efficient, effective, and enjoyable. To learn more and sign up for classes, go to detailgarageorlando.com or call 407-896-6366. Sign up today at detailgarageorlando.com.
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
Drivers, check your engines. The driving season is here again. If you drive a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, stop by Jerry's Mercedes-Benz before you hit the road. Jerry and his team of factory-trained professionals will perform a free safety check on your vehicle so you and your loved ones are better prepared for your trip. Likewise, if you're considering purchasing a pre-owned Mercedes or BMW, drive it by Jerry's MB first. They'll look that vehicle over for you and help you assess its value to you. Jerry's MB is easy to find. They're right off Alafaya Trail, just north of UCF. For the dealership alternative, go to jerrysmb.com or call 407-366-6499.
All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you got the American Adversaries on a Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour as we start heading home here. And don't forget, when we finish up here in about a half an hour, a little bit less, you got Mark Walters, who'll take you live until 11 o'clock. Nostradamus and Aubrey Kahn and myself, Christopher Hart, are in the studio with Kathy Santomacino. Lara has headed home to see if his electricity is back on. It was knocked out earlier by the deluge that we had. Jeff Sinnis is on the bridge, 407-774-8255. Here's some more odd stuff for you.
Well, a Georgia man who rescued an injured hummingbird 4 years ago said the grateful bird still makes yearly visits to his home. Mike Cardenas said the hummingbird, which he named Buzz, was found 4 years ago on the front porch of his Grovetown home with broken feathers that prevented him from flying. Cardenas, fondly referred to as the bird whisperer, took in Buzz, gave him shelter, fed him a diet of Pedialyte and sugar for 8 weeks. When the bird healed and was strong enough to fly, he was released back into the wild. Then something wonderful happened. Buzz returned to his home the next year and landed on Cardenas' hand. Doesn't this sound like a Disney movie? Well, Cardenas said Buzz just recently arrived for his yearly visit after causing the former SWAT officer some worry by being a few days later than in previous years.
I didn't know hummingbirds could live that long. Are you sure it's not maybe Buzz's boy? They're tiny little birds, too.
They're adorable. They're adorable. Well, a California family said they were reunited with their beloved cat 475 days after the pet went missing in a mudslide. The owner said her cats Diamond and Hujet were nowhere to be found when her family needed to evacuate their Montecito home during the storms. The family had to relocate for a year, so damage done to their home by the mudslides could be repaired. They returned in January of this year, but their cats still had not been located. The owner said she was talking to a contractor who was helping her family with renovations last Monday when she mentioned her missing pets. The contractor mentioned he had been feeding a stray cat nearby, and the two compared their phone pictures. And guess what? Diamond turned out to be the lost family cat. She said her children were overjoyed to be reunited with their long-lost pet after 475 days. Well, the lottery story of the week goes to a South Carolina man whose $1 million lottery jackpot came at just the right time for a special gift, his birthday. The South Carolina man bought himself a Carolina Million scratch-off ticket for his birthday at the Roadrunner convenience store in Hollywood. Birthday luck was on the man's side, and he claimed a $1 million top prize, according to officials. Well, I had a birthday last Tuesday. I got a lottery ticket. No matching numbers, but you know what?
Well.
It's
all in the fun.
At least I didn't buy it, right? And then if you have summer plans already and you're thinking about lying in bed all day, this may be the perfect job for you. Mattress Firm has a new job opening. It's called a snooze turn. That's right. The mattress company is looking for a snooze turn to test mattresses at their Houston, Texas headquarters by sleeping on them. The intern will be paid to spend 30 hours a week lounging in bed this summer. Job duties include assessing the optimal head and foot positions for reading, eating, binge watching, and of course, sleeping in bed. When they're awake, the snooze turn will also be responsible for creating written and video content for Mattress Firm's website and social media platforms. The ideal candidate is 18 years or older, has housing and transportation access in the Houston area, knows how to use video editing software, and is passionate about sleep and comfort. Mattress Firm will select 3 to 5 finalists out of the applicants to create a short video pitching themselves, and from those candidates, one will be picked for the job. Good luck, sleepyheads, and the lucky winner will be selected in mid-May, so just a week or two away.
Sounds like something for you there, Aubrey.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Amtrak's also hiring.
Amtrak.
The most successful failure in United States government history is hiring.
How about that? Even the trains are running better.
No one said anything's running better, but they're hiring nonetheless.
By the way, if you are having any trouble sleeping, Relax and Comfort is the place to go. And right now is the time to go there. If you buy one of their new queen or king size mattresses in particular, manufacturer, you will get the base, the adjustable base to go with it for free. But you have to mention that you heard about it on the American Adversaries radio show, and you have to do it before Memorial Day. After that, it's open to everybody. Between now and then, only our listeners can get this deal. And if you have one of these adjustable bases, and I just got one, Aubrey, you got one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell folks how you sleep with it.
I put mine into the anti-gravity position so that there's no pressure on my skeletal system or on my muscles.
On your skeletal system?
Yes.
You don't want any pressure on your skeletal system.
No, I'm a bachelor, remember?
I think he meant skeletal.
You don't want any pressure on that either.
Sorry, I do speak English and American. I tend to get them confused every now and then.
But it puts you in the ideal sleeping position.
Right. And the few hours I get, I sleep like a baby. It's wonderful.
And because he doesn't get a lot of time to sleep, it's crucial that he does get quality sleep when he does sleep. And you got a smart pillow that lets you know.
I've got a smart pillow as well that monitors my heart rate, my breathing, and all the rest of that stuff, how long I've slept, how well I've slept, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Now, I just got
And I have two mistresses in bed with me.
Yes, that's right. You got, was it Dixie and who's the other one?
Daisy and Kahlua.
Daisy and Kahlua.
Sounds exotic.
Ooh,
Yeah, they are.
They are exotic little girls.
One's got long hair, and one's got short hair.
I like them both. Huh?
And they both purr.
Oh, yeah.
Now I just got my adjustable base, so I'm kind of just getting the feel for it and used to it. But it is sweet.
It
I
is
have to
sweet.
tell you.
And if you're into gaming while you're in bed, it comes with USB ports.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
right. They do.
And night lights.
Yep. And
massage.
And you can upgrade to the massage.
Joe Biden comes with it?
And
No. It's not hands-on.
Does yours have massage capability?
Yeah, mine has the massage, and mine is also capable of setting it up with a Alexa device where you don't even have to use the little remote. You just tell it what you want it to do.
Yeah,
Alexa, rub my feet.
I haven't upgraded mine to that.
Yeah, and I don't either. I don't have an Alexa device. But
I had 30 years of women telling me what to do.
Yes, nonetheless, this is it's a wireless remote, and it's sweet. It is sweet, and and it'll put you in that what the anti-gravity position is. When astronauts sleep in space, basically they tether themselves to a hook on the wall of the craft or the space station, and they float.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get in like a sleeping bag and they'll float. And what happens is, in that natural weightless state, your elbows bend about 90 degrees, as do your knees, and your thighs tend to rise up in front of you a little bit. And that's because that is the natural state where your muscles aren't pulling. They're sort of at a neutral position. And you're in your most relaxed position.
It's sort of like floating in a pool. If you've ever floated, your own body, not on a float, but your own body in a pool.
Yeah,
it's also
you're taking the pressure off your skeleton, and believe it or not,
and you're allowing your muscles to relax.
Yeah, and your spinal column. Do you know you lose about 1 inch to 2 inches in your lifetime, but you can regain the length of your spinal column by sleeping properly. You know, right. And if you take that pressure off your back and you sleep like you're talking about, Chris, it will help keep your spine in good shape.
Yep. But that's all of this helps you sleep better. Go ahead.
There's also the position that NASA puts you in for launch.
Right.
Yeah, indeed. But once again, it is just that natural when your muscles are relaxed and they're not working against one another. Right. You're basically your limbs are at 90 degrees.
Sort of like when you were in the womb.
Almost.
Yeah.
Not as bunched up, but still a semi-stable position.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And that's why
you're suspended.
And that's why you can relax and sleep in comfort. You guys have heard about tree houses, right?
I love tree houses.
Yeah, how you have a house in a tree.
Yeah, there's a guy on one of those. Is it Animal Planet? And he builds tree houses all over the United States.
All right. But not like the one that Shirley Armitage Howard has built. She has built her tree house into the tree, not into the branches of the tree, into the trunk of the tree. It
must be one big tree.
It was 110-year-old. Let's see what kind of tree it was. Cottonwood. It was a grand cottonwood tree. and it was falling apart in Idaho. It was dying. Branches were falling. Finally, they hired a tree removal company to come in and cut it down. They were taking out in sections. As they began to take it down, they realized that the bottom big trunk was big enough to make into a room. So she turned it into a room adjoining her house, and it is now a little library where people can come visit and actually go inside her tree house.
They can leaf through some books.
And thank you very much.
And that's not cheap either.
No, indeed.
I knew you would say that.
I would.
I would.
All right.
I would.
We're going to take a break, and we come back tonight. We got a little list for you for our would normally be Lair's closing comments.
Chubby Checker, come on down.
You are listening to the American Adversaries on a Cinco de Sunday 3-hour classic tour, fixing to wrap it up. But Mark Walters is up next, and don't forget, the celebrating is still going on at Tijuana Flats all over town, and especially in Winter Springs, where they got live entertainment and great deals. We'll be right back.
Hi, Chris Hart here. You know, I always bring you the best companies that improve your life. Now, I want to introduce you to Dr. Ronald Trevisani of Lifetime Teeth Today, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon for over 20 years. If you need dental implants or oral surgery, this is the guy and this is the place to go. Receive the highest level of dental implant care from a trusted oral surgeon. And by the way, his patients love him.
I can eat everything, and I enjoy life much more. I really do. I don't have to worry about toothaches, fillings, or anything.
We had corn on the cob last night with a filet mignon. It made my toes curl up.
Dr. Trevisani, one office, one day, Lifetime Teeth Today. Multiple locations. Call 407-598-8141. Dr. Trevisani, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon. Show that smile again. Call 407-598-8141 today.
Online at drtrevisani.com.
Everyone knows Cafe Positano makes the most authentic Italian food in Central Florida. Owner Pasquale Barba is proud to share his family's delicious recipes with your family, and that includes your working family. Cafe Positano is the perfect place for your corporate lunch. Its separate fine dining area is ideal for your business meeting at a great price with special dishes that will impress everyone. Call 407-774-8080 for your next business luncheon, or tell your boss, let's go where they have the most authentic Italian food in Central Florida. Cafe Positano.
Well, you've heard the horror stories. The couple comes home from shopping.
Oh my gosh, there's water pouring out of the ceiling fan in the living room. Henry, quick, grab a bucket.
My new wood floors, they're ruined. Gosh, I wish we had this home inspected before we signed on the dotted line.
This is Aubrey Kahn of Firm Foundation Home Inspections. Buying a home is the biggest investment you'll make. You have to know what you're getting into. Henry and June now have a nightmare on their hands. Don't let that happen to you. Call Firm Foundation Home Inspections before you sign on the dotted line. We'll inspect the property from roof to foundation with the latest technology to know if there are any leaks or electrical problems. You'll get a detailed report, and at Firm Foundation, we warranty our work, ensuring your peace of mind.
Don't make that big investment without calling the home inspector that more realtors use. Firm Foundation Home Inspections. Call 321-624-0254 or go online to orlandoshomeinspector.com.
Times roll. Let the rock you ground. Let the good times roll. Let the break you clown.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Just have a little fun. Let the good times roll. Low unemployment, tax cut, regulations out of the way. This is a great time to be alive and make America great again.
We got to fix this, say the Democrats.
That's right.
How's Joe Biden
Deport
doing?
all illegal. All right. Normally, this would be the time in the show where Larry Adams would deliver his closing remarks, but we don't have Larry Adams to do that tonight because the electricity went off on him as he was preparing them. But we do have some closing remarks for you, and Nostradamus is going to deliver them, but well, I'll let him tell you the rest. Nostradamus.
I just happened to bring this in, and Chris just happened to say, hey, we can use this tonight. So I'm going to. One of our listeners sent this to us on our Facebook page. And I popped it open, read it through, and it's really, really cool. It's from a guy named Ken Conan. It's from December 2017, and it's called 17 Inches. 20 years ago in Nashville, Tennessee, during the first week of January 1996, more than 4,000 baseball coaches descended upon the Opryland Hotel for an annual baseball convention. While I waited in line to register with the hotel staff, I heard other more veteran coaches rumbling about the lineup of speakers scheduled to present during the weekend. One name kept resurfacing, always with the same sentiment. John Scalinos is here? Oh, man, worth every penny of my airfare. Who is John Scalinos, I wondered. Well, no matter. I was just happy to be there. In 1996, Coach Scalinos was 78 years old, and 5 years, 1948. He shuffled up onto the stage to an impressive standing ovation, wearing dark polyester pants, a light blue shirt, and a string around his neck, from which home plate hung. A full-size, stark white baseball home plate. Seriously, I wondered, who is this guy? Scalinos spoke for 45 minutes, not once mentioning the prop hanging around his neck. Coach appeared to notice the snickering among some of the coaches who hadn't heard him speak before. Even those who knew him had to wonder exactly where he was going with this, or if he'd just simply forgotten about the home plate since he'd gotten on stage. Then finally, he talked about the elephant in the room. You're probably all wondering why I'm wearing home plate around my neck, he said, his voice growing irascible. I laughed along with all the others, acknowledging the possibility. I may be old, he said, but I'm not crazy. The reason I stand before you today is to share with you baseball people what I've learned in my life, what I've learned about home plate in my 78 years. Scalinos asked, how many Little League coaches are in the room? A bunch of hands went up. He said, do you know how wide home plate is in Little League? After a pause, someone offered 17 inches? More of a question than an answer. That's right, he said. All right, how about in Babe Ruth League? We got any Babe Ruth coaches in the house? Another long pause. A guess from another reluctant coach. 17 inches? You're right, said Scalinos. All right, now how many high school coaches do we have in the room? Hundreds of hands shot up, and the pattern began to appear clear. How wide is home plate in high school baseball? 17 inches. Yeah, okay. They're getting it.
All right.
You're right, Scalinos barked. And you college coaches, how wide is home plate in college ball? 17 inches. Any minor league coaches here? How wide is home plate in pro ball? 17 inches. And in the major leagues, how wide is home plate in the major leagues? 17 inches, he confirmed, his voice bellowing off the walls. And what do they do with a big league pitcher who can't throw the ball over 17 inches? He paused. They send him to Pocatello. Well, that drew raucous laughter. But he continued, what they don't do is this. They don't say, that's okay, Jimmy. If you can't hit a 17-inch target, we'll make it 18 inches or 19 inches. We could even make it 20 inches so you have a better chance of hitting it. If you can't hit that, you let us know so we can make it wider still, maybe 25 inches. He paused. Coaches, what do you do when your best player shows up late to practice? Or when the team rules forbid facial hair and a guy shows up unshaven? What if he gets caught drinking? Do we hold him accountable? Or do we change the rules to fit him? Do we widen home plate? The chuckles gradually faded as 4,000 coaches grew quiet, the fog lifting as the old coach's message began to unfold. He turned the plate towards himself, and using a Sharpie, he began to draw something. When he turned it back, point up, a house was revealed, complete with a freshly drawn door and 2 windows. He said, this is also the problem with our homes today, with our marriages, with the way we parent our kids, with our discipline. We don't teach accountability to our kids, and there's no consequence for failing to meet standards. We just widen the plate. Pause. Then, to the point at the top of the house, he added a small American flag. This is the problem in our schools today. The quality of our education is going downhill fast, and teachers have been stripped of the tools they need to be successful and to educate and discipline our young people. We're allowing other people to widen their home plate. What is that getting us? Silence. He replaced the flag with a cross. And this is the problem in the church, where powerful people in positions of authority have taken advantage of young children, sometimes for decades, only to have such an atrocity swept under the rug. Our church leaders, they're widening home plate for themselves, and we allow it. And the same is true with our government. Our so-called representatives make rules for us that don't apply to themselves. They take bribes from lobbyists in foreign countries. They no longer serve us, and we allow them to widen home plate. We see our country falling into a dark abyss while we just watch. I was amazed at a baseball convention where I expected to learn things about curveballs and bunting, how to run a better practice. I'd learned something far more valuable. From an old man with a home plate strung around his neck, I'd learned something about life, about myself, about my own weaknesses, and about my responsibilities as a leader. I had to hold myself and everyone else accountable to that which I knew to be right, lest our families, our faith, and our society continue down an undesirable path. Coach Scalino's concluded, if I'm lucky, you'll remember one thing from this old coach today. It is this: if we fail to hold ourselves to a higher standard, a standard of what we know to be right, if we fail to hold our spouses and our children to the same standard, if we're unwilling or unable to provide a consequence when they do not meet the standard, and if our schools and churches and government fail to hold themselves accountable to those they serve, there is but one thing to look forward to. And with that, he held home plate in front of his chest. He turned it around and revealed the back of the plate, the dark black back. We have dark days ahead, he said. Note, Coach Scalino's died in 2009 at the age of 91, but not before touching the lives of hundreds of players and coaches, including mine. Meeting him at my first convention kept me returning year after year looking for similar wisdom and inspiration from other coaches. He was the best clinic speaker the ABCA has ever known because he was so much more than a baseball coach. His message was clear. Coaches, keep your players, no matter how good they are, your own children, your churches, your government, and most of all, keep yourself at 17 inches. And this, my friends, is what our country has become and what's wrong with it today. And now we know how to go out there and fix it.
All right.
Don't widen
the plate. Excellent choice there,
Thank you,
Dennis.
to our excellent listeners who send us only the best stuff.
And only a baseball coach / manager could put things so well. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. And by the way, a home plate is not all that light for him to stand there and do that.
It's bigger than who is that that rapper that wears that clock around his neck?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Flava Flav. It's bigger than Flava Flav's watch.
That's right. All right, that's going to do it for our Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour, our Cinco de Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour. Don't forget to celebrate and still going on at Tijuana Flats, especially in Winter Springs Town Center. Mark Walters up next. Night, everybody.
Good night.
News, opinion, passion. FM 105.5, AM 660. The Answer. WORL. Altamont Springs, Orlando. A service of Salem Media Group. It's 8 o'clock.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Gordon Griffin. Russian officials have given out conflicting numbers on a fiery airline accident in Moscow, but they indicate at least 40 people died. Spokeswoman for Russia's investigative committee said at a briefing earlier